It's Thursday, October 30th.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. Hollywood couldn't have made it this good.
The Toronto Blue Jays now just one win away from winning the World Series after a stellar performance from Trey Savage.
We're meeting on the 10th anniversary of our free trade agreement.
Prime Minister Mark Carney on the last leg of his Asia visit. He met with the president of South Korea this morning ahead of a face-to-face with China's president tomorrow.
We did it the first year and people came and they loved it so much. It was something free to come do and I don't know, just something fun. We like to keep the spirit of Halloween going.
We're going to check out some cool Halloween haunted houses. This one's in Saskatoon. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummels.
And I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. We hope your day's off to a great start.
You have a brand new favorite Toronto Blue Jay baseball.
I do. So right before the game, I said Davis Schneider's kind of.
That's why you're wearing the blue.
Yeah, blue. And then immediately, great performance.
Smacked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Your motivation. All right, we'll get back to you in just a minute. Find out if kids have to wear costumes and jackets. First, the Toronto Blue Jays now just one win away from winning the World Series after beating the Dodgers last night. And it started, like Kayleen said, with a bang.
Comes off and going game 5 with a fastball that's hit in the air to deep left field. Call to the track. It's on the first pitch of game 5. Very first pitch, and now Vlad Jr. hooks the ball down the left field line. They've got back-to-back to start game 5.
Davis Schneider and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. made history by cranking out 2 home runs back-to-back to open the game against the Dodgers. Then Trey Savage went to work, taking care of the rest. The right-hander was dominant as Toronto rolled to a 6-1 win. He also set a World Series rookie record with 12 strikeouts and no walks in just his 8th career big league start. Incredible. The provincial government will stop using the new AIMS computer program for healthcare employee scheduling. It comes after healthcare workers complained about scheduling and payroll errors. Wayne Mantika reports.
The health minister announced on social media that the government had lost confidence in a new computer program for healthcare employee scheduling and verification.
We have now determined that the AIMS team and the technology vendor will not be able to resolve the technical issues as quickly or effectively as needed. As a result, our government has directed the Saskatchewan Health Authority and 3S Health to go back to the scheduling systems that were in use prior to AIMS.
The Administrative Information Management System, or AIMS, manages the healthcare supply chain, along with scheduling and payroll for 50,000 employees. Workers had complained of missing pay and welcomed the return to the legacy system.
Come on, man. You go to work, you get paid. Why can't people get paid when they go to work? Because of your field system? This is unfortunate.
It's estimated that the government spent $250 million on the computer program, nearly 3 times the initial estimate.
$250 million later with nothing to show for it. This government is not delivering on its promises around healthcare, and that system is not delivering on its promises either.
The government says most of the computer system is functioning properly.
That is not a cancellation of the entire AIMS project. The AIMS project seeks to replace 80 legacy systems. 74 of those systems have already been replaced, Mr. Speaker, but we have not been happy with the results of the time validation and scheduling piece of that system. Heard directly from healthcare workers.
The government says it will talk to the lead contractor about the money it invested in the portion of the AIMS program that does not function properly. Later, it plans to return to the marketplace to find a replacement. The province does not know if that will further increase the final cost. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Prime Minister Mark Carney in South Korea, where he met with the president this morning.
We're meeting at a time when our defense cooperation is speaking, and very importantly, that our cultural ties continue to grow.
This meeting happened on the sidelines of the APEC summit, which officially opens tomorrow. Canada is in talks with a South Korean company for a possible submarine building deal.
Tariffs are hurting our economy, hurting our citizens, hurting our businesses. economic.
The U.S. Senate has passed legislation that would nullify Donald Trump's tariffs imposed on Canada. While the resolutions won't ultimately take effect, they have been proven to be effective ways for the Democrats to expose cracks between the president's trade policy and Republican senators who have traditionally supported free trade agreements. The 50-46 tally was the latest in a series of votes this week to terminate the national emergencies that President Trump has used to impose tariffs. Today will be day 9 of a Saskatoon second-degree murder trial. Jeremy Dodge has been following the proceedings. Jeremy, what did a forensic expert tell court yesterday?
Daryl, he said gunshot residue was found on Andrew Rosenfeld's face and hands. The RCMP specialist testified the residue doesn't necessarily mean Rosenfeld fired the gun. She said someone standing within about 20 meters of a gun being fired could test positive because of secondary transfer. The Crown must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Rosenfeld shot and killed his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nikira Brown. Throughout the trial, the defense has suggested her death was a suicide. Brown was found dead in November 2022 inside the apartment they shared in Saskatoon. The family of an 86-year-old Alzheimer's patient who died after wandering away from a Saskatoon care home is calling for a full investigation and apology. William Crown walked for 8 blocks from the Preston Special Care Home before falling, and he died 9 days later of complications from a broken hip. Preston Special Care Home is a government-run facility which Crow had moved into only 36 hours before his injury. According to the family, Crow had a history of wandering, which the facility was made aware of.
My grandma just couldn't do it on her own anymore. Us, the family members, we helped as much as we could, but it was just becoming too much. And so we put him in the care of the Saskatchewan Health Authority, thinking that that was the right move, and it blew our lives up.
The SHA says it cannot comment on specific cases because of patient confidentiality rules, but it extends its deepest condolences to the family and says a review is underway. Daryl, an update over the dismissal of Regina's police chief now.
Yeah, Jeremy, thank you. The complainant who brought forward allegations against Regina's police chief, ultimately leading to his firing, is now alleging a lack of due process in asking for their resignation from the board. Now, former chief Farouk Sheikh was terminated on Wednesday following a Public Complaints Commission investigation into misconduct from a former complainant, a member of the Board of Police Commissioners. Here's what the mayor had to say.
I would just say that the process was followed in terms of how any resignation would go. So, we feel that it was appropriate the way the process played out.
The mayor would not comment as to why the complainant was asked to resign. The Regina Pats and Brandon Wheat Kings went all the way to a shootout.
Full season with the Wheat Kings. He'll fly it in on the left wing side. In on Merrick Schlenker. What a move, and he keeps him right out.
Check out the move in tight by Jordan Gavin, beating Merrick Schlenker. That stood up as the game winner. Brandon wins 3-2. The Pats have won 4 of their last 10.
It keeps it in right side. Poole going to drive it goal line. Out front, shoots and scores!
Owen Martin scored in overtime to lift the Spokane Chiefs over the Saskatoon Blades last night. The U.S. road trip has not gone very well for Saskatoon. They are still in second place in the East. They are back in action tomorrow in Seattle. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture and find out if we're wearing those big bulky jackets over our cute costumes tomorrow. Kayleen?
Unfortunately, yes. The temperatures are looking quite low tomorrow, below that average, and into the evening hours, even into those negative temperatures. So yes, it is that time where we're thinking about how we can incorporate that jacket into our Halloween costumes. Let's take a look at this morning view. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Now, we're going to be talking about some temperatures that are a little bit lower today. So 2 degrees right now to start us off. We are seeing those clouds, but the winds are also going to be quite up there again today compared to what we saw yesterday. This morning in Saskatoon, we are seeing some very light precipitation, some light wet flurries. 1 degree right right now in Saskatoon, so make sure that you're driving carefully out there. The snow not going to be sticking around for Saskatoon today, but it is going to be entering the picture for us down in Regina later on into the afternoon. And we're also talking about those winds that are going to be increased. So yesterday it was more so concentrating down over that southwest corner. Today it's actually tracked eastward. So Regina going to be seeing those winds up to about 60 or 65 kilometers per hour today. Estevan also seeing those increased winds. Areas surrounding in the yellow could be seeing them up to about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour. The Futurecast now showing that system. So this is at currently right now. So we're seeing that snow over top of Saskatoon right now. But as we continue on into the later parts of the morning and into the early afternoon, we're seeing that track down towards the south. So Regina going to be getting it in the not so distant future here. Over the Parkland region, also going to be seeing some of that very wet snow later on, and then down through that southeast corner around Estevan. Into tomorrow, we're not seeing it as much, just a few little blips there of some very light flurries into the early afternoon. But by the time that we're talking about trick-or-treating, it does seem like we're not going to be seeing any more of that precipitation, and clouds should be clearing. We're just going to be talking about those temperatures being lower. Current temperatures now, though, showing Spiritwood at 0 degrees, Prince Albert at 2 degrees, South End at 3 degrees right now, Hudson Bay waking up to 2 degrees, 2 degrees in Moose Jaw and 3 degrees in East End. So the good news is that we're not seeing as much as of those negative temperatures right now to start the day. Now, later on, the forecast showing that with those winds we're seeing today and with that wet snow, we are seeing temperatures below that seasonal average today. So definitely a cool day. 4 degrees will be the high in Swift Current, 3 degrees for Weyburn, 3 degrees for Estevan with that wet snow, and mixed precipitation over that Parkland region up to about 3 degrees. If you're wondering about trick-or-treating time, well, in Regina, the high tomorrow is only about 2 degrees. By the time you're out trick-or-treating, it may even be down into those negatives, about -1 by 8 p.m. 11, though, on Saturday, so temperatures will be going right back up. 10 degrees on Sunday and 9 degrees on Monday. In Saskatoon, 3 degrees is the high today, 3 degrees tomorrow, 12 degrees, though, on Saturday, so there is a bright light at the end of the tunnel. 10 degrees on Sunday and 8 degrees on Monday.
In Canada, some 840,000 people have been diagnosed with COPD.
The Lung Health Foundation estimates that there are upwards of 2 million people, which would be the diagnosed and the undiagnosed, the smokers who are obfuscating their symptoms, or people who haven't had access to spirometry testing.
And up till now, patients could take one drug, then two, then triple therapies to help control their increasing breathlessness, episodes known as exacerbations.
Till now, there were no things to go to. After that triple therapy, you're kind of like at the end of the line.
And for some time now, our colleagues have used, for example, biologics to treat the inflammation of arthritis.
Dupixent is a newly approved biologic medication to treat patients with the most advanced forms of COPD. COPD causes 4.4% of all deaths in Canada, and it's not just the disease itself that kills.
Often it's the complications. It's the associated heart disease or stroke.
COPD Canada says having a new level of treatment is significant, and it urges provincial officials to arrange coverage quickly because the bulk of patients are of retirement age or older.
It's a financial imperative because they're retired, they're sick, they're getting sicker, and these things give them some hope.
Dr. Ken Chapman believes biologics will play a key role in treating COPD and reducing deaths in the future, but only if patients can get diagnosed.
Many patients are in and out of the emergency room with nobody in charge, and we've all heard about the lack of family doctors who might be tracking this, but they're overburdened. So I'm concerned that this very effective therapy reaches people who need it.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
In case you missed it, the pirate's life is truly the life for this couple who seem to love decorating for Halloween.
Who goes there?
Oh, my.
This couple has been putting together pirate-themed Halloween displays for the past 7 years. The ship looks pretty cool. It opens up into their garage to show a below-deck scene, which features skeleton pirates. It also has working cannons, which they say the kids stopping by for Halloween care more about than the actual candy, which I think I would too. That makes sense.
Yeah, that tracks. Wow. The effort.
Yeah, the time that goes into this, the money with all the decorations. Like, there's just a lot that goes into this.
Just love it.
If you do this, Jeremy, you got to go all out for Christmas then, right?
Yeah, how disappointing would you be if you went by this house in 2 months? Saw nothing.
It opens up and there's a real live reindeer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Question of the day, we're asking what your biggest fear is. Maybe it is pirates. I don't know.
Yeah, so Jeremy, do you have a fear that we can talk about right now?
Well, if we're talking like phobias, yeah, I have a fear of being shipwrecked, stranded at sea, not on like stranded out in the middle of the ocean, can't see a shore. It's terrifying.
So you would not go on a cruise?
I don't know. I wouldn't spend too much time looking out at the sea and contemplating life if I was on one of those big boats.
For me, it's trains. I can ride on a train, but being around train tracks makes me feel very queasy.
Okay.
I don't love.
Oh yeah, you're the damsel in distress thing.
Yes. Well, I think it stems back from watching Bugs Bunny as a kid and seeing the damsel in distress trope.
No. My former work wife, Britt Dort, she is deathly afraid of ketchup. If you put a ketchup packet on her keyboard, she would wait for me to come to work to remove it. It's like she's not joking. What is your biggest fear? Text us 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. While you do that, we'll take a look outside. We'll look at that beautiful view of Saskatoon. Getting chillier. Kaylin's got your forecast in just a minute.
U.S. President Donald Trump and China's Xi Jinping agreed to extend a tariff truce, roll back export controls, and reduce other trade barriers in a landmark summit on Thursday, potentially stabilizing relations between the world's biggest economies after months of turmoil. In the first sit-down between leaders since Trump's return to the White House, the pair agreed China would pause sweeping controls on rare earth magnets in exchange for what Beijing said was a U.S. agreement to roll back an expansion of restrictions on Chinese companies. 3 of the so-called Mag 7 companies reporting their third quarter earnings. Meta Platforms shares falling on the pre-markets as much as 7% at times after the Facebook parent reported third quarter results and gave an outlook. Analysts noted some concern over the company's heavy spending. Meta, along with fellow Magnificent Seven peers Alphabet and Microsoft, racked up some $78 billion in capital expenditure last quarter, an 89% increase from a year earlier. Now, Microsoft shares slipping as much as 3.5% on pre-market trading after the software company reported its results. Analysts are broadly positive on the report, especially growth in its Azure cloud computing business, but said investors' expectations were elevated. And Alphabet shares gained as much as 7.1% in pre-market trading on Thursday after the Google parent reported third quarter results that beat the expectations. Analysts are especially positive on its cloud computing business. If the gain in pre-market trading holds, the stock is set to hit its highest level on record. As of the last close, the stock has risen 45% this year. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's take a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're wondering how warm it's going to be in Regina today, well, walk outside right now. We're at 2 degrees, and that's our daytime high expected. We're going to be still sitting at that by about 5 p.m. The winds are going to be very increased today, likely around 60 kilometers per hour by lunch, and that's continuing on into our final bell. In Saskatoon, we're at 1 degree right now. We do have some very wet snow impacting our morning. That's going to be pushing off, making way for just some clouds into the afternoon. But Regina later going to be getting that wet snow into the afternoon. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $130.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $105.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $131.9, and the lowest you might find is $121.9. Taking a look at those farm markets now, the street price of canola at $569.72 per ton, and the futures price at $623 even per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $282.27 per ton, and red spring wheat at $244.89 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading up at 71.86 cents U.S. When we come back, a look at a new proposed venue in Regina at Real District and an update on Saskatoon's downtown arena project. Stay with us.
Good morning. Welcome to Your Morning. Hurricane Melissa is still churning through the Caribbean.
Thank God.
I say Caribbean, I say Caribbean. The storm is expected to pass west of Bermuda today after crossing the Bahamas as a Category 1 hurricane. Melissa could gather strength again before weakening tomorrow. It's likely to cross the Avalon Peninsula either as a Category 1 or a post-tropical cyclone in Canada. This is expected to happen late Friday or early Saturday. A wide-scale student walkout is expected today in Alberta after teachers were forced back to class.
We are the future doctors, future lawyers, future politicians of the world, and if we don't have a stable and healthy learning environment, then we will not be successful.
Hundreds of students are expected to walk out of classrooms today across that province. Some of the walkouts are scheduled to last just a couple of hours, while others are the majority of the school day. A new venue at Real District is promising restaurants, bars, and live music in Regina. The distilling, brewing, and entertainment complex will be called Queen City Distillers. It's going to be where the YQR distillery currently sits at the Brand Center on the west side there. It's being driven by the Brand Group of Companies owner Sean Semple. He says the plan is for a distillery, brewery, liquor store, sports bar, restaurant, speakeasy lounge, and live music venue. The cost, north of $20 million, and they expect it'll create about 150 jobs.
You think about the Regina Red Sox, you think about the Regina Pats. We see the talent in sports first. You can argue that even with the Riders, some move on to the NFL, right? Why can't we see the best musicians? Why can't we be that touring spot where they stop and play first and maybe become loyal to, and maybe we get them back once they hit the big time?
Sean Semple says the goal is to be open by December 2026. The future of Saskatoon's downtown arena hit a bump in the road on Wednesday morning.
It's time that Saskatoon has new facilities to be comparable to other marketplaces.
We're looking to maximize the revenue for the city. That's definitely an objective because we have to pay the mortgage payment for the facility.
Now, administration billed the deal as Oakview taking on a brunt of the risk to cover any operating losses. The deal would bring in as much as $235 million over 30 years. Once the project is fully funded, Williams said it would take 4 to 5 years before the doors to the downtown arena would open. The family of an 86-year-old Alzheimer's patient who died after wandering away from a Saskatoon care home is calling for a full investigation and apology. William Crown walked away for 8 blocks from the Preston Special Care Home before falling down. He died 9 days later of complications from a broken hip. Preston Special Care Home is a government-run facility which Crown moved into only 36 hours before that injury. According to the family, he had a history of wandering, which the facility was made aware of.
My grandma just couldn't do it on her own anymore. Us, the family members, we helped as much as we could, but it was just becoming too much. And so we put him in the care of the Saskatchewan Health Authority, thinking that that was the right move, and it blew our lives up.
The SHA says it cannot comment on specific cases due to patient confidentiality rules, but it does extend its deepest condolences to the family, and a review, they say, is underway. A Mother's Love is inspiring a community in North Saskatoon neighborhood, leading to a project for a playground so every child can play. Brittany Hebert is fundraising at St. Anne's School to build an accessible playground. She wants children like her daughter, who has mobility challenges after an accident, to enjoy recess on a play structure built for everyone. Along with the school's parent council, they hope to raise nearly $300,000.
Before her accident, she was fully able-bodied, and then she sustained a brain injury, and resulting in the 7-month stay at the hospital and the use of a wheelchair. So that's where our passion came from. It came out of tragedy, and so it was never, accessibility was never on our mind up until it suddenly hits you.
Through donations and fundraisers, the community is only halfway to their goal, and they hope to break ground in the spring. The Regina Police Service is receiving almost $300,000 to renovate and upgrade its shooting range. The province is redirecting the proceeds of crime through the Criminal Property Forfeiture Fund to renovations. Now, the fund collects seized criminal property, such as vehicles or cash. This year, more than $1.6 million will be used in this manner to improve the safety of communities across the province. Good news for commuters. After more than 6 months of construction and traffic detours for motorists, the City of Saskatoon says the Broadway Bridge will be open by the end of the week. Administration would not commit to a specific day, but said all the construction and improvements are now complete. A Saskatoon couple is putting their love for Halloween on display and opening their doors to the community. Aaron and Kristen have run their haunted house in Evergreen for a long time. It started with a jumping spider in 2018, but has now grown, as you see, to dozens of animatronics, hundreds of decorations. Last year, they welcomed about 2,500 people, and they're expecting even more this year.
We did it the first year, and people came, and they loved it so much. It was something free to come do, and I don't know, just something fun. We like to keep the spirit of Halloween going.
We love seeing all the reactions of everybody come through, and seeing the smiles and the screams is what makes it worth it for us.
If you're in Saskatoon, that haunted house is at 510 Glacial Shores Bay, and it's free of charge. My goodness, Kayleen. They do a fabulous job. You asked me this morning, how many kids do you get in your area? And I said, I don't know, maybe like 40, 50, they're 2,500.
Well, I recently moved to the same neighborhood as you, so I'm kind of, I don't know what to expect trick-or-treater-wise this Halloween.
Part of it depends on the forecast.
Yes. Okay, well, let's get to that, because I just made this really cool spooky board, so I really want to share it with you. Yes, it's a cat to start our day. We're talking about what we're going to be seeing in the afternoon tomorrow for your Halloween. 2 degrees in Regina. By the evening, dropping down to -4. So, yes, it's going to be one of those forecasts where we say bundle up with that Halloween costume. Saskatoon, 3 degrees tomorrow afternoon. By the evening, -1. Winds are going to be slightly reduced from what we're seeing today, because it's going to be a very windy day today, but that doesn't mean they're going to be low winds. Around the trick-or-treating time in the evening, we'll be seeing those winds in Regina at about 30 kilometers per hour and 40 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon. Now let's take a look at some current conditions here. We're at 2 degrees to start the day in Regina. That cloud cover still there. Winds currently coming in right around 40 kilometers per hour in Regina. In Saskatoon this morning, we have been seeing some very wet snow to start the day. That's not going to be sticking around into the afternoon. Going to be mainly cloudy for Saskatoon. Where we are going to be seeing that snow today is down in Regina. It's going to be that day where you're going to want to keep an eye on the roads, folks. Today's wind gusts could be seeing them up to about 60 kilometers per hour in all those areas lighting up in red. So yes, Regina and Estevan going to be seeing the worst of those winds today. Areas surrounding could be seeing them up to about 45 kilometers per hour. The futurecast showing how that snow is going to be rotating today, tracking down towards the south. So very soon here, we're going to be seeing that system pushing away from Saskatoon for the afternoon, and then making its way down towards Regina, down towards Estevan, and right through the Parkland region with that wet snow this afternoon. Tomorrow, though, we see a few little blips on the radar there in the early afternoon. By the time that all of our kids are going to be outside trick-or-treating, we're not going to be seeing any more of that precipitation. The clouds are even going to be starting to push away as well. Current temperatures, we're seeing 0 degrees in Spiritwood, 1 degree for Nipawin, 2 degrees in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, it's 0 degrees to wake us up in Weyburn, 2 degrees in Yorkton, and 1 degree in Wynyard. Later on this afternoon, with those winds again and with that wet snow, seeing temperatures far below that seasonal average today. It is definitely going to be a day to bundle up if you're heading outside. Now, as we head into the weekend, though, we do see those temperatures start to go back up. So this is nice to see 11 degrees on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday, and 9 degrees on Monday with some more sunshine on the way. In Saskatoon, more of the same. We just have to get through today and tomorrow with those lower winds, but the weekend looking above the seasonal average again. 12 degrees on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday, and 8 degrees on Monday.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Matt Scooby with your must-see moment from Wednesday forward. Clearly, we're headed to Game 5 of the World Series. Bottom 6, Shohei Ohtani going to hit one to right. Addison Barger makes a fantastic diving grab, robbing Ohtani of a hit. Barger, a great jump on that hard hit ball, laying out for the highlight reel grab. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Well, Thursday on TSN, Week 9 in the NFL kicks off when the Ravens visit the Dolphins. Pre-game coverage starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
So tomorrow's Halloween, which means candy, costumes, but safety should also be top of mind. And Janelle Pai dressed up with CAA Saskatchewan this morning for some safety tips. Janelle.
Good morning. That's right. We are out. It's a little bit of a chilly morning, but Angel Blair and I are out and about. We're dressed warm. Now, Angel, we are dressed. We're matching a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Halloween safety today. So let's maybe start with motorists.
Okay, so when we're talking about safety on Halloween, CAA has been a safety advocate since 1915. So we really promote safety for motorists and pedestrians. On Halloween night, you might actually want to avoid the peak trick-or-treating hours of 5 to 8 p.m. If you can, just don't drive. The streets will be busy. As you can see, there's a lot of decorations. The kids are excited. They're running around. Of course, they're hauling their big candy bucket, and they might be distracted. So just be careful. Use your signal lights as a motorist. Make sure your lights are on. Be careful when you're pulling in and out of driveways. If you're backing up, these little kids, I mean, not all costumes are as bright as ours, but make sure that you're paying attention. Put your cell phone down. Don't drive distracted. Don't eat. Don't drink. Just pay attention to the road because it can be very dangerous out there.
Absolutely, it can be. And not only pay attention to the road, pay attention to the traffic lights as well. As you can see here, we are representing. Now, not only are motorists responsible for the safety, but also children and their families. So what kind of tips can you give for people dressing up this year?
Well, as a parent, you can plan ahead. You can wear bright colored costumes. Those are not always the case when it comes to cool costumes. So if you can, put a reflector on your little child's costume or somewhere. There's lots of bands you can buy. Other things that you want to do is watch out for the mask. Lots of times your vision is restricted and your hearing's often restricted, and that's not what you want for little kids. Tell them to, maybe travel in groups and have pickup and drop off spots so you know where they're going to be. And if you want, make sure to remind them, don't be on their cell phone, right? They're looking down, they're distracted. Also, save the candy for a little bit later on. That way you can check that as a parent and the kids aren't distracted because there's some pretty good stuff in here and they'll be eating it. So yeah, we just want kids to be safe.
That's right. All right, Angel, thank you so much. We're going to be back once again in the next hour. We have another costume surprise coming up, so stay tuned for that.
Boy. Looking forward to it, Janelle. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a little while.
Now get ready for the playoffs. We know the Riders will be in the Western Final. They will host them at Mosaic Stadium. So they have to wait to see who they're going to play. But coming off that final regular season game against BC, I just want to get your thoughts on how you think the Riders are going into playoffs.
Yeah, I think, well, I guess the one biggest question would be the kicking situation with Michael Hughes kicking so well. But I think because Brett Lowther's Canadian, I feel like that'll be the deciding factor, really just leaning that way just to help with the ratio. I think that offensively, the Riders have looked fairly good. I mean, you look at the stats, sometimes they struggle at times, but really when it comes out in a full game, usually they put up some quality numbers. I think Trevor obviously will be ready to go. Obviously, taking a little bit of a break is always a little scary situation in the playoffs, but I think that the Riders will be well because I think the culture and the way they're talking and the way the vets are leading, and obviously Corey Mason, his coaching staff, have really drilled it in that it's about the effort and just being locked into your assignments and just giving full effort, and things will work out.
Of course, injuries on the receiving core, secondary, had a chance to rest. Hopefully those guys can be back for the Western Final. Let's talk about those two semifinals. BC versus Calgary. It's in BC. BC won both their meetings versus Calgary. Can they win? It's always tough to win 3 times in a row. Can they do it against Calgary?
I know it's tough, but I feel like, I just feel like BC's going to find a way to pull it out. I'm a little worried. Like, Calgary's defense has been playing great all season. They've had a couple of slip-ups here and there, but I feel like BC has looked like the most dominant team in the league for the last few weeks. I know they had a couple of weird turnovers, but you take away that fumble by Hatcher, and really BC probably has, runs away with that game a little more. So I think that they're going to be all right in the Western semi, for sure.
You got BC then?
Yeah, BC.
Okay, I'll probably go with BC as well. Then we got the East semifinal, even though there's a Western team in it. Bombers against Montreal. The Bombers won both their games against the Alouettes this season. Will Jefferson, Collaros be enough this time around?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Montreal. It's always safe to take the home team. Like, Winnipeg is kind of that team that's always found a way to be there, so you can't count them out. I think, it'll be tough. Montreal's D and the struggles that Zach Collaros has had at times. He hasn't looked as comfortable. Offensive line for Winnipeg hasn't held up as well. He's been getting beat up this season, and I think that Montreal is going to find some ways to get home, and maybe if they can get ahead on the scoreboard, then they can kind of just turn up the pressure and be able to take that away. But if Winnipeg gets off to a good start, they'll be trouble, but I'm taking Montreal.
To Montreal, I'm going to go with Winnipeg in this one. I just think to be honest, this playoff, it can go with any one of these 6 teams, it feels like. This is going to be a pretty good playoff season. And, of course, whoever wins this week will go on to face the Riders and Hamilton in the division final to find out who goes to the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. We'll analyze what the Riders will face next week on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's, brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
It's October 30th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Jameson for his 9th birthday today. We hope it's a great one. This shout out coming from your grandma and your grandpa. And turning 56 years old today is Trevor. Happy birthday to you, with lots of love from Leah and Mom. Enjoy your day. And last but certainly not least, Paul is also celebrating a birthday today. He's now 69, and all of his grandchildren want him to know they're sending him so much love. Happy birthday. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send those in 1 day in advance.
All right, time to head out on the go and check in with Mike Siona, who is hitting the runway this morning. Mike.
Yeah, more metaphorically, I'm not physically hitting the runway, but there will be a runway here. We're at the Ramey Art Gallery here, the Modern Art Gallery, with Mandy Pravda ahead of Saskatchewan Fashion Week, or rather, in the midst of Saskatchewan Fashion Week, because it began yesterday. Give us the details.
Yeah, we kicked off yesterday in Midtown Shopping Center with our SFA conference. Lovely, awesome day. Had quite a few sessions. We really get into the knit and grits with your taxes, your branding, yesterday we had a self-defense class put on by Professor David Ma. It was amazing. We feel empowered. It was lovely.
And that's a lot of the stuff just in terms of the business side of things. Now, what's still to come here, and who is it for?
Okay, well, it's for everyone. Families are welcome. Everyone is welcome. So we have a great weekend coming up here at the Ramey. We're so excited to be here. This is a new venue for us this year. We kick things off Saturday, with our marketplace. That runs 10 to 5 during the day, Saturday and Sunday. And then, of course, our staple events. We have SFA Runway Saturday night, so you'll see, you can expect to see a lot of our traditional collections, which aren't so traditional. And then on Sunday, we have the Jack Milliken Center Wearable Art Gala. Super exciting. This is a night to see.
That's fantastic. And it's all that celebration of the fashion industry here in Saskatchewan. How robust is it?
You know, this year we have, 9 designers, 14 artists. We have several different performances, from a jingle dancer to a Métis fiddler to Dance Inc. It's going to be really exciting. It takes a lot of people to put this show on, and you're going to see a lot of people on the runway.
Fantastic. I love it. So there you go. Forget Milan, forget Paris. Saskatoon, the Paris of the prairies, is where you want to be this weekend, right here at the Ramey for Saskatchewan Fashion Week. All the details are on the website.
Speaking of fashionable fellas, Chase, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What's going on?
We are pumping up here.
What's going on?
I don't even know where to go with that. I was like, get out of here. We're talking boots on the beach here. It's kind of a gross day here in Regina, and I don't want to put on the rush, but we need to put on the rush for boots on the beach because it's the last day to book in. Just a couple rooms left available for you, and you can join us at the end of January in Mazatlan. Dean Brody going to be a part of the trip as well, but you got to hustle. You got to book in it today, so you can go to bootsonthebeach.com, get all of the details, look at this gorgeous resort, and make sure you got one of those spots. You can also text BOOTS to 54321, and I can send you the link, and you'll have all the details right there on your phone, and you're good to go.
Adam Driver has signed on for a new hostage drama series at Netflix called Rabbit Rabbit. The script comes from the same screenwriter behind Top Gun Maverick and The Town. No word yet on a release date.
It's infused with tarragon. It adds a bit of bitterness.
Ivy likes to leave a little bit of herself in everything she does.
If you missed The Roses in theaters, you're in luck. The dark comedy starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman comes to Hulu on November 20th. Country Music Hall of Famer Randy Travis has announced his ongoing tour will make a special stop in Nashville next month, performing alongside the Nashville Symphony. Travis himself isn't singing, but will appear on stage alongside his wife and the rest of the Randy Travis Band. And the Fonz is celebrating a birthday today. Happy Days star Henry Winkler is 80. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I think, Jeremy, since you're the only one born in the 70s, you should do this one.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. We start with a little flashback from the 70s to get our sidebar going.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, when you got the moves, you show them off, right? This is Ben and Zara channeling the Bee Gees. They're staying alive online, of course.
Both of your kids are noted dancers. Do you ever do anything like this? Do you ever participate in any of the routines or anything?
No. Well, no, not really. They don't, they're teenagers, so they don't want to dance with Dad.
Well, I was going to say,
they have like 50 times my skill level.
I hope this dad enjoys doing this with his daughter before his daughter hits the "you're so embarrassing, Dad" phase.
Too cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that phase. That's going to be so fun. You can't find someone to sing with. You just duet with yourself sometimes. Oh, that's neat.
Oh, wow.
How do you discover that you had this skill?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
The tiny hat?
Yeah.
We'll let this duo sing us right on into break. We're back in a minute. It's Thursday, October 30th.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. Crazy world. Hollywood couldn't have made it this good.
Toronto Blue Jays now just one win away from winning the World Series.
We're meeting on the 10th anniversary of our free trade agreement.
The Prime Minister on the last leg of his Asia visit, meeting with the President of South Korea.
It keeps it in right side. Poole going to drive it goal line. Out front, shoots and scores!
Bit of a rough U.S. road trip for the Saskatoon Blades. Western Hockey League highlights just ahead. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Every time I watch that little animation, I think, who has time to make pancakes first thing in the morning?
Well,
on
they
a weekday.
bring them to us.
On a roof. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I could use that. So are you watching the World Series?
I watched more yesterday than I have. How exciting was that game yesterday?
Big
that was
fan
great.
of a certain player, are you?
Big fan of Davis Schneider.
There you go. Okay.
But don't tell him.
But don't tell him. It's our little
Keep
secret.
it a secret.
Yeah, your husband's okay with it, so it's cool. Let's get to news. We'll start with the World Series. And the Toronto Blue Jays winning pivotal Game 5 against the Dodgers. The Blue Jays wasted no time getting on the scoreboard last night, as Kayleen said, but it was their 22-year-old rookie pitcher who has everybody on the edge of their seats. Laura Spencer with the highlights.
And the Blue Jays are headed home, one win from a championship.
This morning, Toronto heading home with a one-game lead in the World Series with back-to-back home runs.
To start Game 5.
Davis Schneider hitting one of those on the first pitch of the game.
Call to the track.
His father capturing the view from the stands.
No way!
Posting this now viral video of him high-fiving with other fans in the crowd. But it was rookie pitcher Trey Yesavage on the mound denying Dodgers all night.
Yeah, swung out and missed. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Striking out 12 and setting a record for the most in a World Series game by a rookie.
There's a dozen for Trey Yesavage.
Yesavage was called up to the big leagues in September and has had to live out of a hotel room since signing with the Jays. In fact, he's had to check out of that hotel every time they go on the road. And now a simple message for his parents who've been with him every step of his career.
I'm just going to tell them that I love them and safe travels back to Pennsylvania, and I'll see them on Friday.
Exciting it's going to be tomorrow night if they can close it out at home. Let's get on to other news. The Saskatchewan Health Authority switching back to an old computer system for employee scheduling. It's a result of problems with the new AIMS healthcare computer program. Some employees had complained of pay delays because of scheduling errors. The government calls that situation unacceptable.
We have now determined that the AIMS team and the technology vendor will not be able to resolve the technical issues as quickly or effectively as needed. As a result, our government has directed the Saskatchewan Health Authority and 3S Health to go back to the scheduling systems that were in use prior to AIMS.
The government says other AIMS functions like supply management are working properly. The government says it will return to the market for a solution. Prime Minister Mark Carney in South Korea, where he met with the South Korean president this morning.
We're meeting at a time when our defense cooperation is deepening, and very importantly, that our cultural ties continue to grow.
The meeting happened on the sidelines of the APEC summit, which officially opens tomorrow. The Prime Minister will tour a shipyard today with Defense Minister David McGuinty. Canada also in talks with South Korean companies for a possible submarine building deal. The Prime Minister will then meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping tomorrow. The U.S. Senate has passed legislation that would nullify Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada after 4 Republican senators voted with the Democrats.
The right answer to the U.S.-Canada relationship on trade is to go back to the table on USMCA, find anything that hasn't worked, anything that can be made better, negotiate and make it better.
The joint resolution passed 50 to 46, the latest in a series of votes this week to terminate the national emergencies that Trump used to impose tariffs. But ultimately, it's a symbolic move. House Republicans, have passed new rules preventing the resolution from getting a vote in the House. Future of Saskatoon's downtown arena hit a bump in the road. Jeremy Dodge, what's going on over there?
Thanks, Daryl. Yeah, city councilors have become uneasy about the group chosen to operate the flagship building once it does eventually, someday maybe, gets built. Keenan Sorokon has the details.
It's time that Saskatoon has new facilities to be comparable to other marketplaces.
Oakview Group was on the hot seat in Saskatoon City Council chambers about its framework deal to operate the downtown event and convention center.
We're incredibly bullish on the marketplace. You know, proud to be here, proud to be before you. But at the end of the day, we're just going to do more in every facet.
But councillors weren't as bullish on the 15-year deal, ultimately deciding to defer a vote until the new year. Councillors took aim at the structure of the deal, the revenue splits, the upfront money, and the projections, wondering if the best possible deal was negotiated.
And I'm just curious why these improvements would require OVG.
We're looking to maximize the revenue for the city. That's definitely an objective because we have to pay the mortgage payment for the facility.
Some even wondered if it makes more sense to bring the project in-house and have the city run it if Oakview was putting up $15 million for a $1.2 billion project.
Making OVG's proposed contribution a mere 1.25%. I believe we'll make a stronger case if we can say this is a municipally owned, locally governed and operated project.
Administration billed the deal as Oakview taking on a brunt of the risk to cover any operating losses. The deal could bring in as much as $235 million over 30 years.
I wouldn't be here recommending this if it wasn't, in my opinion, a good deal. We can literally go to an act and say, okay, here's 6 cities in Canada we can route through. So we see that as an advantage.
But councillors didn't want to be forced into a decision just yet.
We are getting a lot of information within a week of making a decision. We're not able to discuss it with people who are directly affected.
Council is expected to vote on the deal by March of next year. Keenan Sora Khan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Oh, that's the latest on the new arena in Saskatoon. Daryl, you've got an update over the dismissal of Regina's police chief.
Yeah, apparently I was very excited to tell you about it. The complainant who brought forward allegations against Regina's police chief, ultimately leading to his firing, now alleging a lack of due process in asking for their resignation from the board. Now, former chief Farouk Sheikh was terminated Wednesday, as you know, following a Public Complaints Commission investigation into misconduct from a complainant made by a former member of the Board of Police Commissioners. Here's what the mayor had to say on it yesterday.
I would just say that the process was followed in terms of how any resignation would go. So, we feel that it was appropriate the way the process played out.
The mayor would not comment as to why the complainant was asked to resign. Operations have resumed at airports in eastern Poland after Polish and Allied aircraft were scrambled due to large-scale Russian attacks on Ukraine. At least 3 people, including a 7-year-old girl, were killed as Russia launched a barrage of drones and missiles at Ukraine's energy infrastructure overnight. Ukraine's prime minister accused Russia of targeting Ukrainian people and power supplies as the cold winter weather approaches. Russia denies it as targeting civilians, saying its strikes are responses to Ukraine's attacks on Russian infrastructure. In sports news, Regina Pats and Brandon Wheat Kings went all the way to a shootout, then this.
Full season with the Wheat Kings. He'll fly it in on the left wing side. In on Merrick Schlenker. What a move, and he keeps him right out. Backhand.
And check out the move by Jordan Gavin, beating Merrick Schlenker. That stood up as the game winner. Brandon wins 3-2.
It keeps it in right side. Poole going to drive it goal line. Out front, shoots and scores!
Owen Martin scored in overtime to lift the Spokane Chiefs over the Saskatoon Blades last night. U.S. road trip's been pretty bumpy for the Blades, but they are still in second place in the East and are back in action tomorrow in Seattle. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture, Kayleen, that trick-or-treat forecast.
Yeah, so the trick-or-treat forecast is coming up in just a moment. We're going to talk about today first and then into tomorrow. So stay with me here. This morning view is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. 2 degrees to wake us up in the Queen City. Some northwest winds coming in just about at 40 kilometers per hour, so it is a windy start to the day. Going to be seeing those increase a little bit later as well, and we're also talking about some snow in the forecast for Regina today. That has already started in Saskatoon. Some very wet flurries this morning. Winds currently coming in at 33 kilometers per hour. Now, the snow is going to be pushing away from Saskatoon very shortly. We're just talking about a cloudy day for Saskatoon. 1 degree to wake us up as well. Now, today's wind gusts gusts, as we just mentioned, they are going to be increased in some areas today. Yesterday, it was down in that southwest corner. Today, it's mainly down over by the southeast corner, where we could see those winds surpassing 60 kilometers per hour in those areas lighting up in red, Regina and Estevan included. Areas surrounding that up to about 50 kilometers per hour. So once again, a windy day. Futurecast showing that snow and how it's going to be rotating, tracking down towards the south into the afternoon today. Regina could be starting to see it around 11 a.m. and then continuing on into the afternoon. It's going to be really right around that Parkland region. So Yorkton, be prepared for that wet snow today. And then, of course, down through Estevan as we go into those overnight hours. Tomorrow, though, as we are looking at the Futurecast, we do see just a few little spots of white there on the screen in the early afternoon. As we make our way into the later parts of the afternoon, when the children will be out starting to trick or treat, we do see that precipitation take itself away off the radar there. And also some of the clouds pushing away as well. We're just going to be talking about those cooler temperatures for trick-or-treating, and winds also going to be remaining fairly high for trick-or-treating tomorrow. Moose Jaw today up to about 4 degrees, Swift Current up to about 3 degrees, Weyburn 3 degrees, and Estevan 3 degrees. So temperatures definitely below that seasonal average today, and that trend is going to take us into Halloween. And this is a look at your trick-or-treat forecast. Here lies those 8 p.m. sunsets and that RIP warm weather. By 6 p.m. in Regina, about 2 degrees, 7 p.m. down to 0, and 8 p.m. down to -1. So if you're getting out to get that candy late in the evening, it's going to be chilly. In Saskatoon, 6 p.m. about 3 degrees, 7 p.m. down to 1, and -1 by about 8 p.m. Temperatures getting warmer for the weekend, though, up to about 11 degrees on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday for Regina, and similar conditions in Saskatoon, with that weather getting right back above that seasonal average, 12 degrees on Saturday and 10 on Sunday. All right, let's take a look at this rural forecast now. We're seeing temperatures quite cool this afternoon. Also seeing some of that wet snow in the forecast. Hudson Bay up to 3 degrees, Wynyard up to 2 degrees, and Outlook just above that up to about 4 degrees today with that wet snow. Parts of the central zone going to be seeing it more so in the morning hours, and then down towards the south, we'll be seeing that precipitation into the late afternoon hours. Pilot Butte going to be getting some of that wet snow, 2 degrees. Broadview up to 2 degrees as well. In Coronach with that wind up to about 4 degrees. Now let's take a look at Paradise Hill, where internet plans up to about 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 2 degrees will be the high today, mainly cloudy conditions. Northwest winds coming in between 15 to 30 kilometers per hour.
When you think fashion, you might think Mike Siona. I know I do. And why not? Especially this morning, right, Mike?
Absolutely, and I wrote that lead, so thank you for delivering it so nicely, Jeremy. I'm here with Melissa Squire ahead of Saskatchewan Fashion Week, or rather in the midst of Saskatchewan Fashion Week. They've been doing some business stuff and some things for the designers starting yesterday, and come the weekend, it opens up to everybody else. I want to talk about Sunday first and foremost, kind of the last event here, the Wearable Art Showcase. Tell me about that.
So the Wearable Art Gala, it's put on by the Jack Milliken Center in partnership with Saskatchewan Fashion Association, and basically there's, I believe, 14 artists showing in the show, and wearable art is exactly that, art on a human sent down the runway in an artistic fashion.
Very cool. So that's different than the big runway show on Saturday, which is kind of, you might see that walking down the street after the exhibit or the runway show. Tell me about what's happening on Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday is the runway show. So we have 9 different designers in that. My collection for the show this year is called Thanks, It Has Pockets.
Which is really big. I mean, I never knew this until, you know, go shopping with my wife, and she's like, this one's got pockets. Yeah, or even my 6-year-old, she's like, it's got pockets. What a great idea. What inspired that, or is it pretty self-explanatory?
Pretty self-explanatory. It's just really annoying to not have pockets. So now all my stuff has pockets going forward.
Fantastic. I love love that, right? I mean, it's functional and fashionable, which is awesome. Quickly tell us about the marketplace and all the other stuff surrounding those two shows.
So we have the marketplace going on at the Remy. It's open 10 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. It'll also be open during the show hours, but you do need to have a ticket to the show to come to that as well. It's a bunch of different local artists and some local businesses. And then the runway show is Saturday night, and the wearable arts show is Sunday night.
Fantastic. All sorts of great stuff. You could follow the trends, or you could be here and help to set them. It's pretty simple. This hat, by the way, Jeremy, I put it on just for you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Mike. When I think fashion, we'll see you again in just a little while.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Matt Scooby with your must-see moment from Wednesday forward. Clearly, we're headed to Game 5 of the World Series. Bottom 6, Shohei Ohtani going to hit one to right. Addison Barger makes a fantastic diving grab, robbing Ohtani of a hit. Barger, a great jump on that hard hit ball, laying out for the highlight reel grab. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Well, Thursday on TSN, Week 9 in the NFL kicks off when the Ravens visit the Dolphins. Pre-game coverage starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
All right, question. What do you do if you want to get rid of an old car and happen to have access to a nearly 2,000-pound pumpkin? Well, there's your option. These are my favorite videos. This is in Utah. As you see, it's a Geo Metro from the 1990s. Gets totaled by a 14-story gourd drop.
I'm speechless. I wasn't expecting that.
Me neither.
Fantastic. It's a charity fundraiser. They do these for good causes. Not just to destroy a Geo Metro, which probably shouldn't be on the road anyway.
Well, I was going to say, I hope they stripped it for parts. And, oh, wow.
The only thing they didn't do is a slow-mo. Like but
okay, well, that was a very cool video to see this morning. I wasn't expecting that.
You're welcome. Well, the question of the day, what is your biggest fear? It's probably not having a 14-kilo pumpkin dropped on your Geo Metro.
Yeah, I'm changing my answer. My answer is being in that car.
Yeah. There's some other options on the old big board.
Daryl, I don't think we got yours earlier.
I don't know. Like, failure's mine. Like, it's sad. It's not
well, let's turn it over
I don't know.
to our big board where we have rats.
Yeah, my teething 1-year-old. How about that?
Yeah, we're afraid of her.
Yeah.
Michelle saying bugs that burrow under your skin. The idea of that just, it makes your skin crawl, right?
Could you do Fear Factor? Remember that show from back in the day?
I think I could do a lot of things on Fear Factor, but I wouldn't be able to eat the bugs, is the thing. I'm not afraid of snakes and spiders. I've touched and held snakes and spiders.
So, Jeremy, if you're eating the bugs, are you not jumping out of the helicopter on that show? What are you not doing?
I'm doing it all, man.
You're doing it all.
I feel confident that they wouldn't let you die.
That's what my wife always says. It's reality television. They're not going to kill you.
But would you eat the bugs? Because I've seen them do that.
Yeah, no. I'm going to take the time penalty on Amazing Race. I'm out.
I did eat crickets when I was on location once. That happened.
I ate grubs and worms and all sorts of live things one time, and it's just mind over matter.
I hear crickets when I tell jokes sometimes. That's as close as they're getting to my mouth.
They're here in the studio.
That's it.
Lori saying I'm afraid of spiders and getting stuck in snow or mud comes from growing up in a farm and getting stuck lots. Thank you so much for answering today's question of the day. We want to hear from you, though. So what is your biggest fear? Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. And you can also scan that QR code on your screen right now. We're going to be sharing some more spooky answers later in the show.
We need to bring back the civil service to a sustainable level.
The finance minister previewing plans to reduce the public service. The size of and spending on civil servants has soared since the pandemic. And multiple sources tell CTV News the cuts the federal government is looking at making would be through attrition as well as workforce adjustments, including the possibility of incentives for early retirement.
We'll be very transparent with people, but we're going to be very compassionate in how we do it as well.
Ottawa.
Though this plan could still be subject to change, as the sources also said the budget document hasn't been finalized. Potentially playing a role in the revisions still being made, the Liberals haven't secured the support they'll need to see whatever they propose pass Parliament.
So it's becoming pretty clear that the government is going to use their costly budget as an excuse for costly elections.
The finance minister's latest pre-budget talk about tough choices came after he committed to spend more than $500 million on equality initiatives. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
All right, producer Nathan is pre-mad because we're probably going to get this right, and he hates that. Let's go to our morning mystery. It is a food. Clue number 1, this candy was invented by one of America's oldest candy companies, Young and Smiley.
Okay.
It became a movie theater staple because it's easy to eat, doesn't melt, and can be shared.
I think I know.
Okay, I think I have an idea. The character Baby Yoda loves to eat it. I don't know Star Wars.
Neither do I. I'm taking a guess
I do,
here.
but this is not helping me.
Okay, I'm going to go with...
I don't know.
Okay,
Okay, what do you got?
I put Twizzlers, but then I...
Jeremy can see you. Hold on. I'm going to go with Twizzlers. Does Lickers count? That's close, right?
I was going to say licorice, and then I said Twizzlers.
Skittles on Jeremy's end. Okay, so let's see what the answer is. The answer is Twizzlers. Oh, my goodness. There you
man.
go. I guess I got a half point, right?
I was going to say,
Yeah,
I considered Twizzlers to be
right,
licorice.
Daryl.
Lickers, Twizzlers.
Yeah.
We'll call it one and the same. We'll call my streak still alive. That is today's Morning Mystery.
Ugh.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
As we take a look at that school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. You can see that we are already at our expected daytime high in Regina. It's going to be a very cool day today. The only thing that's going to be going up is the winds. We're also going to be seeing some more of that snow into the afternoon hours, so grab a toque, grab those mitts on your way out the door. In Saskatoon, we already saw some of that wet snow earlier on this morning, but later on into the afternoon, we'll be seeing that snow pushing away. Just talking about some clouds in the afternoon. Winds still going to be strong, but not quite as strong as down in the south. And the high is going to be reached by about lunchtime. Continuing on into final bell, that will be 3 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $130.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $105.9. And in Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up $131.9 this morning, and the lowest you might find is $121.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola at $569.72 per ton, and the futures price at $623 even per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $282.27 per ton, and red spring wheat at $244.89 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.86 cents U.S. After the break, the Caribbean is in recovery mode after Hurricane Melissa tore through the region.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 7:30. The family of a Saskatoon man who died after wandering away from his care home now looking for answers. They say he did just move in and then he went unaccounted for. Hallie Mandrick with what they want now.
The granddaughter of 86-year-old Alzheimer's patient William Cohn says her grandfather wandered away from a Saskatoon care home on October 11th, unnoticed by staff. He walked for 8 blocks before falling and died 9 days later of complications from a broken hip.
I don't know that we've really even had time to grieve properly just because of how it happened. I think with all the shock and anger and everything else, I don't know that we've really had time to stop and properly grieve.
Now, Cohn's family is calling for a full investigation and formal apology from the Saskatchewan Health Authority. Preston Special Care Home is a government-run facility, which Cohn moved into only 36 hours before his death. Smith says her grandfather had a history of wandering, which the facility was made aware of.
My grandma just couldn't do it on her own anymore. Us, the family members, we helped as much as we could, but it was just becoming too much. And so we put him in the care of the Saskatchewan Health Authority, thinking that that was the right move, and it blew our lives up.
Following session on Wednesday, MLA Lori Carr addressed the topic, saying the SHA will be conducting an investigation.
Well, I mean, the SHA is the one that's conducting the inquiry on it because it's been deemed a critical incident, and that's the process that takes place. But of course, from whatever comes out of that, if any corrective action needs to be made, absolutely has to be made because this is unacceptable.
In a statement, the SHA says it cannot comment on specific cases due to patient confidentiality legislation, but said, quote, the review process will include obtaining family perspectives, a post-analysis disclosure to the family, which includes facts and actions taken or to be taken, and actions to be considered to improve care delivery moving forward.
All we want is, we just want more safeguards for our family members. We don't want this to keep happening. The more I talk about it, the more people reach out about their family members wandering out or passing away from, easily treatable things in care homes that should have been caught.
The health authority says it extends its deepest condolences to the family, and Smith says her family is hopeful that some changes might come from her grandfather's death, and they are considering filing a complaint with Saskatoon Police. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The race is on to recover after Hurricane Melissa tore through the Caribbean. Ika Jachi with the latest on the devastation.
This morning, an urgent search and recovery mission now underway in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa slammed into the island. The scope and size of the devastation laid bare, Prime Minister Andrew Holness declaring the entire country a disaster area. Some towns completely cut off, St. Elizabeth Parish taking a direct hit from the historic hurricane.
Yesterday was horrible, horrific, terrifying, the worst day of my entire life, the worst experience of my entire life.
We saw treacherous conditions firsthand while traveling across the island. Roads washed away, vehicles buried in rubble.
The town of Santa Cruz is completely devastated. A wall of water and rock came from the mountains right through the center of town, destroying everything. Getting back to normal will take months.
Most of the island without power. Tourists like Alexis and Taviana forced to ride out the storm, doing whatever they can to get home.
At this point, we don't even mind if we go anywhere in the U.S. We just want to get a flight off the island.
But that may be harder than expected, given airports also sustaining damage. Water rushing into the Sangster International Airport, alarms blaring.
Saskatchewan's Lieutenant Governor has received the first poppy of the campaign. Royal Canadian Legion President of Saskatchewan, Roberta Taylor, presented her honor, Bernadette McIntyre, with the very first poppy. She then passed out poppies to everyone else in attendance. 100% of the money raised from poppy sales goes directly to the Poppy Fund, which supports veterans and their families.
Some of the assistance would include making sure that the basic needs of our veterans are met on a continual basis. As we know, all veterans are covered through Veteran Affairs. However, there are certain things that the Veterans Affairs does not cover. And sometimes, too, the needs are more immediate.
Poppies will be available to use starting Friday at Legion branches across the province. Some Saskatoon residents are putting their love of Halloween on full display and opening their doors to you in the community. Stacey Hine took a look at the spooky sights.
Better be careful walking around at this place.
A warning to be careful walking around 510 Glacial Shores Bay in Evergreen. Here, Halloween takes over, and everyone's invited. Kristen McDonald grew up with haunted houses. Her father built one every year. Now she's carrying on the tradition with her husband.
He and I met, and he wasn't really into Halloween, and then he slowly kind of got more into it, and we bought one animatronic, and after that, we were just kind of hooked.
What started with a single jumping spider in 2018 has grown into a monster operation.
The McDonald's say it takes countless hours to set this up, with 37 animatronics and hundreds of decorations.
Last year, more than 2,500 people came through, and this year, an even bigger crowd is expected.
We do it basically just because the community loves it. Like, we did it the first year, and people came, and they loved it so much.
We love seeing all the reactions of everybody come through, and seeing the smiles and the screams is what makes it worth it for us.
And if you're looking for more local haunts, there are other spooky spots around the city ready to give you goosebumps.
Hold on to me.
In Silverwood Heights, check out 111 Marcotte Crescent. And in Parkridge, 186 Neatby Crescent, where Aaron Savolt has transformed his yard into a 2,200 square foot maze of mayhem.
It's always fun to see the reactions, hear the reactions, plus ticket fees, whatever, are going to Spirit Halloween and their fundraiser for the Children's Hospital, so good causes.
No matter where you go, these Halloween haunts might leave your head spinning, and they're open until Halloween night. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, so we need the spooky Black Cat energy forecast, Kayleen.
All right, well, good news for you is that I'm ready to give it. Let's talk Halloween, what you're going to be expecting in Regina and Saskatoon. In the afternoon in Regina, we're only reaching a high of 2 degrees, so that is well below the seasonal average. It is going to be a cool evening. Into that evening, we're going to see temperatures dropping into about -1. In Saskatoon, the afternoon, high 3 degrees. Down into the evening, though, down to -1. Winds going to be not quite as strong as what we're seeing today, so that is some good news, but still elevated for those evening hours. In Saskatoon, up to about 40 kilometers per hour while you're trick-or-treating, and in Regina, up to about 30 kilometers per hour around that 7, 8 o'clock hour, and then those are going to be increasing into overnight, depending on how late you like to trick-or-treat. Let's take a look at these morning temperatures, though. 2 degrees to start the day in Regina. Winds currently coming in just below 40 kilometers per hour, and those clouds are already starting. This morning, we did see some very wet snow in the Saskatoon area. It does look like that has already pushed away. We're not expecting Saskatoon to be getting any more of that precipitation this afternoon. Just going to be seeing those clouds really into those evening hours. 1 degree to wake us up as well, with winds coming in at 37 kilometers per hour right now. All those areas lighting up in red on your screen, that's where we're going to be seeing the strongest wind gusts today. They could be surpassing about 60 kilometers per hour for Regina and Estevan. Areas surrounding like Saskatoon, Swift Current, and Yorkton could be seeing them up to about 40, 45 kilometers per hour. The Futurecast now showing that system that's bringing the wet snow to the area. It's mainly around eastern Saskatchewan. It's going to be right around the Parkland region really all day and into those overnight hours. Also tracking down through Estevan as well. Tomorrow, though, it's looking a lot more clear. Just a few spots of that white on your screen. But into the evening hours, when the kids are going to be going out to trick-or-treat, we're seeing a lot of those clouds actually starting to push away from the city, and we're not going to be seeing any more of that precipitation all across the province. Current temperatures, we're seeing Spiritwood at 0 degrees, Prince Albert at 2 degrees, and South End at 3 degrees right now, 2 degrees in Yorkton and Moose Jaw, and 1 degree for Weyburn and Assiniboia. Later on this afternoon, again, we just talked about that precipitation on the way and those stronger winds on the way. Temperatures also going to be quite low today compared to that seasonal average, so definitely bundle up if you're heading outside. So today and tomorrow, cool. Weekend looking better, though. So 11 degrees for Regina on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday. More of that sunshine starting to come out for the weekend as well. For Saskatoon, 12 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud on Saturday, and 10 degrees on Sunday.
But it keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I don't want you less, but I just want you more. Said I keep coming back.
Exciting times over at Real District. The Foo Fighters are coming to town, in case you haven't heard. The man in charge of Real is Rick Bennett. He's in studio with us, the CEO. First chance to get to talk to you. Welcome to town.
Daryl, greatly appreciate it. Absolutely enjoy Regina. Thrilled to be here.
What's it mean to take over this organization?
Well, there's a lot of work ahead of us, no question about that. It's got a lot of legacy. Agriculture is its roots, and I think, candidly, we've got a lot of steps ahead of us that all center around rebuilding trust, financial sustainability, and reigniting purpose.
Well, let's start on a fun note before we get into those 3 points. Yeah. That is, you are bringing the Foo Fighters to town. Tickets on sale Friday morning.
Yeah, you know, that's an absolutely incredible event. Here's the part I'm really proud of. So we are only one of 4 venues in Canada and one of 11 stops in North America. So you think they selected Regina over other greater metropolitan cities. So I think it speaks to the horsepower of who we are and the excitement we're going to bring.
And I mean, people are excited. What's the reaction been like to your office?
Well, you know, it's a daily conversation for us, but there were a lot of fist bumps the moment we were able to announce it. And here's the great part, 41,000 fans. It's going to be loud. It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be memorable for the entire city.
We experienced it with a couple of sets from Mr. Garth Brooks a few years back. So that's been a long time. So this is very welcome news. Let's get into those 3 points that you mentioned. Sure. Starting with building trust, rebuilding trust in the community.
Yeah, you know, and that centers around really executing well. You know, the journey up until this point has been not without its challenges, but it all centers around delivering on the promises that we make. And a big part of that is financial sustainability. And how we're solving that nugget right now is centering on revenue generating. And also when we generate that revenue, we generate the activities, we execute at the highest level possible that shows we're real, we're credible, and we're moving ahead.
As you look back, where did this organization get into trouble? Did we go too hard on concerts after the pandemic and dig ourselves a hole? What was it? Is there one thing you can point the finger at?
I don't think there's, you know, my opinion is there's a culmination of a variety of little events, some of them rather significant along the way. But here we are today, and my role is really focusing upon the future, the potential, and giving it momentum and belief to move ahead.
How do you upgrade the facilities? Some of them are in states of disrepair.
Wow, that's a big challenge. So, you know, if we look at the numbers, we're looking well over $30 million in deferred maintenance that covers probably the next 3 to 5 years. The challenging part is that we recognize the city's funding capability is only limited so far. These are civic-owned assets. The other is the private sector can play a role in this process. You know, you look at the YQR distillery, how that's transformed into a private sector major investment, and it can be a catalyst for further private sector investment as well.
What's got you excited for the future?
Wow, so let's rewind. Foo Fighters.
Of course.
Grey Cup 2027. And there are so many other great events that are on the doorstep right now that is a daily conversation, and we're so eager to share. But again, we're focusing on today and executing at the highest level possible that gives the city reason to be proud of what we're doing.
Do you need Foo Fighters to go well to show other big acts like the Luke Combs, the Post Malones out there of the world that this is a place you should come?
Oh, absolutely. I think promoters measure the performance not only in ticket sales, but the crowd, the vibe, and how well the local team executes. I have 100% confidence in our ability to deliver on that level, and that trust, that confidence is shown by the way of promoters saying, we are going to pick Regina, and that's why the Foo Fighters are coming in 2015.
We're going to see how fast those tickets go at 10 a.m. Friday morning. Rick, thanks for doing this.
Daryl, you're the best. Let's continue the conversation.
We'll do this again soon.
Rick, there you go, mate.
The CEO
Appreciate it.
Of Real.
Do you
Here's what's happening in our community. The craft sale is on Saturday, November 1st at 10 a.m. It's being held at Our Lady of Peace Parish on the 400 block of Broad Street. And for more information, you can call 306-543-2320. The Edenwold Trade Show is on Saturday, November 1st at 10 a.m. It's being held at the Edenwold Community Hall on the 200 block of Brewer Street, and admission is free. The Harvest Dance is on Saturday, November 1st at 5:30 p.m. It's being held at St. Basil's Parish Centre on the 1700 block of Toronto Street. And for more information, you can call 306-545-9111. If you'd like your event shown here, you can email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca with at least 2 weeks' notice.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
It's October 30th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Jameson for his 9th birthday today. We hope it's a great one. This shout out coming from your grandma and your grandpa. And turning 56 years old today is Trevor. Happy birthday to you, with lots of love from Leah and Mom. Enjoy your day. And last but certainly not least, Paul is also celebrating a birthday today. He's now 69, and all of his grandchildren want him to know they're sending him so much love. Happy birthday. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send those in 1 day in advance.
All right, let's check back in with Janelle Lapai for more Halloween safety ideas.
Happy All Hallows Eve. It's a little bit chilly and windy out, but I've got CAA's Angel Blair back with me. We are outside ready to give you some more Halloween safety tips. Thank you so much for being here, Angel.
Oh, thanks for having us. CAA is a safety advocate, and we want to make sure the roads are safe for people and, you know, motorists are safe on Halloween. So we did a bit of a theme here. As you can see, s'more Halloween safety tips from CAA. So let's get started. Let's talk about kids first of all. When you are telling your kids about road safety, the first thing that CAA would recommend is pay attention. Make sure your kids know the rules of the road. So cross at intersections. Don't dart between cars because vehicles can't see you. It'll be dark out. The other thing is kids are really excited. They're looking at their candy. They're, you know, with all of their friends. And we do recommend that when your kid goes out, travel in groups. Make sure you have a plan, make sure you know your route, and check in.
Absolutely. Those are some great tips. So it is motorists and Halloween goers that are responsible for the safety here. What kind of tips do you have for parents when they're sending their kids out the door?
Well, when you're prepping your kid to go out, make sure that they put their cell phones away. We don't want kids distracted, right? Make sure you tell your kids to pay attention when they're crossing the road, but also maybe save the snacking with the candy till you get home. Looking down at your candy, whether it's in something like this or a pillowcase, it is very distracting. So you want your kid to be very alert about their surroundings. Be careful traveling groups. You know, have that plan for the night. And then if you're a parent, make sure you have pickup and drop off spots.
Fantastic. All right, Angel, thank you so much for this. We're going to be back soon. Take a little warm-up break. We'll be back in the next hour.
What's your Halloween costume? Can you give us a teaser?
It's punny.
Okay.
And it's a country artist. So, and I'm going to have to wake up earlier tomorrow, too, to get a lot of face stuff going on, which I'm not a fan of, but it's all for Halloween. It's all for the love of it. We're talking a little bit more of Halloween here today, too. We want to see your jack-o'-lanterns, all of those carving masterpieces. You can throw a picture up on our Facebook page. And while you're there, too, let me know what you think my pumpkin is. I'm not going to tell you right now because I need to do a little bit of a test. My brother-in-law thought it was Sasquatch. It, in fact, was not. That kind of hurt my feelings, too, because I put in a decent amount of work for it. And he's like, yeah, it looks like Bigfoot. No, it 100% was not. So go to our Facebook page, Pure Country 92.7. Drop a picture of your jack-o'-lantern, and let me know what you think mine is. Hopefully, you get the gist of it more than he did.
Text me the picture. I'll share it with our viewers. We'll see what they say, too. Chase, thanks for this.
Perfect. Will do. Thanks, Daryl.
Music and video game lovers, listen up. The memorable score of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is coming out on vinyl. Nintendo and Laced Records are putting out a double LP and an 8 LP box set, available in limited edition color vinyl or standard black. You can pre-order now. The discs are due out June 19th, 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things that really drew me into it.
Daniel Radcliffe is returning to Broadway. The Tony-winning actor, who's also done some film work, is set to star in the one-man show Every Brilliant Thing. Previews begin February 21st, and a 13-week engagement starts March 12th.
It became a second profession. But
Henry Winkler has had several careers: television star from Happy Days to Barry, film roles including Scream and The Waterboy, producing and directing, and co-authoring more than a dozen children's books. And today is his 80th birthday. Happy birthday, Henry Winkler. In Fonziewood, I'm David Daniel.
Jeremy, away we go.
All right, a little flashback from the 70s to get this thing started. Yeah, showing off their moves. Daddy, daughter, dancing. Ben and Zara, these guys have been going viral for years with their dance numbers. Channeling the Bee Gees in this one.
He's going to be so sad when she enters Dad, You're So Embarrassing mode.
Yeah. I wonder whose idea this was. Was this hers or was it his?
They have been honestly doing this for years. I bet you he's kind of like her meal ticket.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
He needs her.
Hey, listen, if you can't find somebody to sing with, then maybe you just do it by yourself like this person. You got to give it to her.
It is.
Very good. Very good.
Tiny hands just to add a little extra flair.
It's funnier when you think about the fact that under that toque, she's like, her eyes are closed and she's just singing her heart out.
No, we got one more, Kayleen.
All right. Well, there's nothing wrong with singing alone, especially if you have the right mirror. Daryl just let out the loudest belly laugh.
Wow, these videos have sucked for a few days. These all three were great.
Yeah, are you as good at lip syncing?
I'm gonna try this when I don't have mirrors that move. I'm gonna have to get somebody to move the mirrors.
Yeah, I wish.
Jeremy, come a couple hours south, move some mirrors for me. We're back after this.
Yeah, you got it.
It's Thursday, October 30th.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. Crazy world. Hollywood couldn't have made it this good.
The Toronto Blue Jays now just one win away from the World Series.
It's time that Saskatoon has new facilities to be comparable to other marketplaces.
We're looking to maximize the revenue for the city. That's definitely an objective because we have to pay the mortgage payment for the facility.
Why Saskatoon's downtown arena deal hit a road bump yesterday.
We did it the first year and people came and they loved it so much. It was something free to come do and I don't know, just something fun. We like to keep the spirit of Halloween going.
And we'll show you some of the coolest houses you need to check out tomorrow night. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Happy day before Halloween.
All right, now we get to debate. Chase said his pumpkin, his brother-in-law said it looked like Sasquatch. He says it's Vladdy Guerrero Jr. It's the one on the right. What do you think?
I think that's brilliant. Look at that. That's incredible.
What he didn't tell us is how he did it. If he had one of those little... My brother-in-law does this with my sister, and they do like a little Dremel drill.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't say how he did it.
Stencil?
Do you think that's Sasquatch or Vladdy?
I think...
Somewhere in the middle, hey?
Yeah, could be somewhere in the middle.
We've got a little monitor right here, in case you're wondering.
We're just staring at the desk.
Could look silly. Anyways, I don't know. We'll leave it up to you to decide at home. You let us know. Problems continue to plague the Administrative Information Management System in Saskatchewan, and now the Health Minister has ordered the Health Authority to move away from it for now.
And while significant testing was done before launching the employee scheduling part of the system, it has become clear that it's just not working like it should.
Now, the SHA says it's rolling back to its previous employee scheduling system after persistent challenges with the AIMS platform. The change affects about 7,000 employees in the former Kelsey Trail and Cypress Hills region, among those out-of-scope employees. But payroll, finance, and human resources are not affected, they say. The change is expected by the end of the month of November. The health minister says it's not a forever move, but it does make sense for now. Today will be day 9 of a Saskatoon murder trial, a second-degree murder trial. Jeremy Dodge has been following this for us. What did a forensic expert tell court yesterday, Jeremy?
Well, Daryl, she said gunshot residue was found on Andrew Rosenfeld's face and hands. Now, the RCMP specialist testified the residue doesn't necessarily mean Rosenfeld fired the gun. She said someone standing within about 20 meters of a gun being fired could test positive because of secondary transfer. The Crown must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Rosenfeld shot and killed his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nikira Brown. Throughout the trial, the defense had suggested her death was a suicide. Brown was found dead in November of 2022 inside the apartment in Saskatoon. 2 people on the Saskatchewan RCMP wanted person list were arrested over the past week. It's not a complete list of all offenders wanted by RCMP. This list made by a data-driven scoring system looking at the number and the severity of the crime. So last week, Spiritwood RCMP arrested Ian Beeds. He will appear in court November 25th. And Shellbrook RCMP arrested Joel McKenzie. He appeared in Prince Albert Provincial Court yesterday. Police hope by releasing this list, tips and information from the public will support RCMP investigations and lead to arrests. And several vehicles at an automotive business were destroyed in a fire Tuesday night. This was the scene just before 9 o'clock in the 1600 block of Idlewild Drive North. Firefighters arrived to find 4 vehicles engulfed in flames. The fire department says crews found a used oil container that was melted and had spilled onto the property. Nobody was injured in the fire, but police found a 45-year-old suspect nearby, and he is facing a charge of arson. Well, continued reaction in Regina, Daryl, to the firing of its police chief.
Yeah, the complainant behind the investigation now alleging their resignation from the board was not done correctly. Donovan Mace reports.
A shadow remains over the Regina Police Service the day following the termination of its chief.
Going forward, we're looking forward. We're looking forward for the police service.
Now, former Chief Farouk Sheikh was dismissed by the Board of Police Commissioners Tuesday following a Public Complaints Commission investigation into misconduct, which was substantiated. A complaint made by a former police board member. Now, in a statement made through their lawyer, the complainant alleging a lack of due process in asking for their resignation from the board, which happened prior to the complaints which prompted the investigation. Mayor Bashinsky not commenting as to why the complainant was asked to resign.
I would just say that the process was followed in terms of how any resignation would go. So, we feel that it was appropriate the way the process played out.
According to the PCC investigation, the complainant and chief engaged in inappropriate private communications over the course of several months. Those communications kept from others on the board and the police service, with some occurring during a private session in which Sheikh was excused from. Now, the chief also asking the complainant to delete some of the texts they exchanged after the discovery of the messages became a risk.
This board takes these complaints very seriously.
Acting Chief Laura Lee Davies says there is a collective relief at the service now that the investigation has a resolution.
One person's actions don't reflect on the service as a whole, and so we just need to ensure that we're doing the hard work that is needed by the community.
As the RPS looks to rebuild trust with residents.
I hope that the public believes that we won't stand up for that type of behavior, and that when it is detected, that we'll make sure that the proper steps are taken to ensure public trust.
Now, while the hunt for Sheikh's replacement remains in its very early stages, Davies says she remains committed to the service and will wait to see how things unfold. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Well, the Connexus Credit Union and Regina Street Culture Project have collaborated to run a cafe inside the bank's head office. Damian Smith reports.
There's a new coffee shop in the Connexus Credit Union head office, but it's not just there for a quick grab and go. In a partnership between Connexus and the Street Culture Project, the Safe Cafe's revenue will be going to the not-for-profit.
We do recognize that our youth are entering to a very challenging economic environment. There's so much uncertainty that, what's a sure thing anymore? It's really hard to say.
For the Street Culture Project, they've been working on a shoestring budget with their shelter on 11th Avenue at full capacity for the past 3 years.
These growing indicators of need are alarming.
Staffed by a team of 115 people, the group served about 15,000 meals last year and transported 300 youth to medical-related appointments.
We want to decrease the need for sheltering services and increase our capacity to provide opportunities to youth like this so that we can provide education, training, and get them out in the community working and living and being independent.
The project mentors youth up to 20 years of age, with mental health and addictions being the biggest challenges, leading to loneliness in today's youth.
And so that's one of the things that we're trying to address is being together, being relational, and building those peer groups so that there's a network of support for the youth. But struggling with mental health and addictions and a general sense of kind of loneliness is what we describe it as.
The cafe will also be a gathering spot for programs to run after the Safe closes on weekdays at 4 p.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturdays. The Street Culture Project also said that 100% of the proceeds will go towards essential programs for undeserved youth. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Well, the Regina Pats and Brandon Wheat Kings went all the way to a shootout last night.
Full season with the Wheat Kings. He'll glide in on the left wing side. In on Merrick Schlenker. What a move, and he keeps him right out.
And check out the move in tight. Jordan Gavin. Beautiful goal beating Merrick Schlenker. That stood up, of course, as the game winner 3-2 the final.
That keeps it in right side. Poole going to drive it goal line. Out front, shoots and scores!
Owen Martin scored in overtime to lift the Spokane Chiefs to a win over the Saskatoon Blades last night. The U.S. road trip hasn't gone very well for Saskatoon, but they are in second place in the East and are back in action tomorrow night in Seattle. All right, do you have a trick or a treat on hand for us?
A bit of both, but you have to wait a minute. You have to be patient for it. We're going to talk about today, and then we'll talk about the Halloween trick-or-treating forecast. This morning view, though, behind me, it's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. In Regina, we're still at that 2-degree mark, and that's because that's our expected daytime high. So if you want to know what the afternoon's going to be like, walk outside. However, with the temperature of 2 degrees, we are also going to be talking about some wet snow that's going to be making its way into the area later on, into the later parts of the morning and early afternoon. Down in the southeast corner, we're going to start seeing that into the overnight hours as well. Now, right now, though, we're not seeing that snow quite yet. We're just waking up to those cloudy conditions with winds coming in around 40 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we already saw some of that wet snow earlier on this morning. That is going to be pushing away from Saskatoon, and into the afternoon, we're just going to be seeing that cloud cover. 1 degree right now. It's going to be getting just a little bit warmer into the afternoon, not too much. The wind gusts, though, they are going to be increased even more so from what we saw yesterday, and yesterday was a windy day, but today we're going to be seeing them up to about 60 to 65 kilometers per hour in those areas lighting up in red. All those areas lighting up in yellow could be seeing them between 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. Futurecast showing that system that we were just talking about. We're expecting that wet snow in many parts across the province here. It's going to be tracking down towards the south into the overnight hours and into early tomorrow. Now, we do see tomorrow afternoon, really early in the afternoon, some spots of white on the screen there still just north of the Parkland region. However, by the time that we are going to be seeing those kids heading out the door to go trick-or-treating, we're actually going to be seeing the precipitation fully exit the province, and then the clouds actually lessening as well. It's just really going to be those winds we're still seeing tomorrow and the cooler temperatures. Spiritwood now at 0 degrees, Nipawin at 2 degrees, 0 degrees in Stony Rapids, 2 degrees in Hudson Bay, 2 degrees in Moose Jaw this morning, and 1 degree in Estevan. Today's forecast, we're seeing a high of 3 degrees in Swift Current, 3 degrees in Yorkton, and 3 degrees in Estevan. All of these temperatures below that seasonal average. Your trick-or-treating forecast now showing that Tomorrow in Regina, we'll be seeing that temperature of about 2 degrees at 6 p.m., 0 degrees by 7, and down to -1 by about 8 p.m. in Regina. 3 degrees at that 6 o'clock time for Saskatoon, down to 1 by 7, and -1 by 8 p.m. But the good news, we're seeing temperatures go right back up above the seasonal average for the weekend, and the sun is coming back out. 11 degrees on Saturday, 10 degrees on Sunday for Regina, 12 degrees in Saskatoon on Saturday, and 10 on Sunday.
This day in history, October 30th, 1995, Quebecers officially voted no in the province's second referendum on sovereignty. October 30th, 2009, Canada's Olympic torch relay began in Victoria with Katrina Lemaidon, and Simon Whitfield. October 30th, 2008, Leona was sworn in as the health minister, the first Inuk appointed to the federal cabinet.
So the Grand Egyptian Museum is finally about to open its doors. We had a little taste of this last week, but this museum will open on Saturday, 20 years after the construction first started. It's right next to the Giza Pyramids, and will be the biggest museum in the world dedicated to one civilization. It's got more than 50,000 artifacts telling the story of life in ancient Egypt. If there ever was a place that needed something like this, I'd say that Egypt would be the place.
Yeah.
Very timely, too. Very spooky right around Halloween.
One of, for sure. Oh, my goodness. Put that on the list of places you got to visit. Question of the day, what is your biggest fear? We got a few more answers trickling in.
Yeah, so we had Lori right in saying, my biggest fear is flying. I'll do it if I have to, but I hate it. This is one for me. I actually love flying. What about you guys?
I'm good with flying. Yeah.
What's
that?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Sometimes I get a little nervous during bumpy landings, but I'm all right most of the time.
Kim saying heights and scary clowns. Donna from Yorkton writing in saying deep water. I know that the ocean is a fear of many people's. Another answer saying rats. You should move to Alberta. I grew up there. No rats there. Michelle saying bugs that burrow under your skin. Freaks me out. I just can't. Ick. I don't think that's one that anybody would really love, right? Bugs in the skin?
No.
Another Lori wrote in and said, I'm afraid of spiders, getting stuck in mud and snow, and that comes from growing up in a farm and getting stuck lots. So thank you so much for telling us all about your fears this morning right before Halloween. We're going to have another spooky Halloween-themed question of the day for you tomorrow.
The family of a Saskatoon man who died after wandering away from his care home is looking for answers. They say he had just moved in when he went unaccounted for. Hallie Mandrick has the details.
The granddaughter of 86-year-old Alzheimer's patient William Cohn says her grandfather wandered away from a Saskatoon care home on October 11th, unnoticed by staff. He walked for 8 blocks before falling and died 9 days later of complications from a broken hip.
I don't know that we've really even had time to grieve properly just because of how it happened. I think with all the shock and anger and everything else, I don't know that we've really had time to stop and properly grieve.
Now, Cohn's family is calling for a full investigation and formal apology from the Saskatchewan Health Authority. Preston Special Care Home is a government-run facility which Cohn moved into only 36 hours before his death. Smith says her grandfather had a history of wandering, which the facility was made aware of.
My grandma just couldn't do it on her own anymore. Us, the family members, we helped as much as we could, but it was just becoming too much. And so we put him in the care of the Saskatchewan Health Authority, thinking that that was the right move. And it blew our lives up.
Following session on Wednesday, MLA Lori Carr addressed the topic, saying the SHA will be conducting an investigation.
Well, I mean, the SHA is the one that's conducting the inquiry on it because it's been deemed a critical incident, and that's the process that takes place. But of course, from whatever comes out of that, if any corrective action needs to be made, absolutely has to be made because this is unacceptable.
In a statement, the SHA says it cannot comment on specific cases due to patient confidentiality legislation, but said, quote, the review process will include obtaining family perspectives, a post-analysis disclosure to the family, which includes facts and actions taken or to be taken, and actions to be considered to improve care delivery moving forward.
All we want is, we just want more safeguards for our family members. We don't want this to keep happening. The more I talk about it, the more people reach out about their family members wandering out or passing away from, easily treatable things in care homes that should have been caught.
The health authority says it extends its deepest condolences to the family, and Smith says her family is hopeful that some changes might come from her grandfather's death, and they are considering filing a complaint with Saskatoon Police. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Here he comes, off and going game 5 with a fastball that's hit in the air to deep left field. Call to the track. It's on the first pitch of game 5. Very first pitch, and now Vlad Jr. hooks the ball down the left field line. They've got back-to-back to start game 5.
The Toronto Blue Jays will have a chance to win their first World Series title since the early 90s tomorrow night. You know Chris Henderson as a country music superstar, but he's also a beat writer, a columnist on the Toronto Blue Jays, has been for a number of years, and he joins us this morning. Chris, thank you for this. This must be the time of your life. You're a huge fan.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a very pleasant surprise. I was optimistic and hopeful when the whole postseason started, but what they've done is exceeded my expectations, and it's been a ton of fun.
Baseball is romance, and there is anybody is more romantic about right now than Trey Savage. This story is unbelievable.
Yeah, this kid's incredible. For those that don't know, I mean, he was drafted last year, started the season in the lowest rung of the minor leagues and worked his way up to every level. He's pitched in 5 different levels this year. He's 22 years old. I mean, he's got more postseason starts now than he had in AAA. It's this kind of thing shouldn't be happening, and he's out there setting records against, what many consider to be the scariest lineup in baseball.
When did you start to believe in this team?
You know what? Down the stretch. I guess I've been a lifelong Blue Jays fan, and it's really easy to be pessimistic and to kind of assume the worst is going to happen. But, once we got into late August, early September, you just kind of saw the fight in these guys, and they just don't quit. And I really started to think, maybe, they could go on a run. If they get hot at the right time, anything can happen in the playoffs in professional sports. And they've done exactly that. Vladimir Guerrero has been on a historic run. Trey Savage has been on a historic run. Ernie Clement. It's just been a bunch of pleasant surprises, but it's added up to a really exciting time.
Are you surprised by the way that Canada's rallied around this baseball club? Because there's a lot of people who are laissez-faire fans in this country.
No, I'm not. You know what? That's one thing that I've always seen throughout my life is that when the Blue Jays are good, people will follow. And that's kind of a product of ever since the Expos have been gone from Major League Baseball. There's only one team in Canada, and it's really easy for all the things that we disagree on in this country, when there's only one option, it's really easy for most of us to agree and get behind the same sort of cause.
Oh, you had to break my heart and bring up my Montreal Expos. I'm still lamenting the loss of them. What has to happen for them to win at home tomorrow night?
They've got a tough pitching matchup. They're going up against Yamamoto from the Dodgers, who was incredible in Game 2. He threw a complete game, and he threw a complete game in the NLCS before that. So that's going to be probably the biggest test, is just to get to him. He's been arguably, maybe other than the Savage, he's been probably the most untouchable pitcher in the playoffs. So that'll be huge. And then just settling nerves. They're one win away, and it's not easy to just to close the door and to finish the job. And so these guys, they've got a task in front of them, but I know that they've got the country behind them. The Rogers Center is going to be rocking on Friday night, and I think they're going to get the job done.
Okay, so if they do win, what is the title of your column? What is the title of your country song?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. I can't stop. That's the title of my column and the title of my country song. I'm going to have to get back to you. That's a great question. Maybe I'm going to have to write that and come back and sing it for you.
Now I'm getting some writer's credit on the song. Chris, congratulations on finally seeing your team have some success for the first time since about 1993. Appreciate your time this morning.
My pleasure, my friend. Anytime.
Now let's check in with Mike Siona one more time, getting fashionable this morning.
Well, I'm joined now by Jenny Cardinal Schultz of Green Tree Beauty, and want to continue talking about Saskatchewan Fashion Week. We're down here at the Ramey, where the bulk of the weekend activities will take place. Let's start by talking about just the organization of all of this and just the volunteer effort that goes into putting on a week like this.
So Sask Fashion is a volunteer-run organization, as are the events. So we have hundreds of volunteers that come together to make it happen, from our models, makeup artists, hairstylists, and people just working behind the scenes, photographers, videographers as well.
And it really is. I mean, it's part and parcel just remembering the list of how many people are here. It's kind of like giving an acceptance speech at an award show. I hope I didn't forget anybody. But it really is all about that because fashion doesn't just happen, right?
No, it takes lots of work, lots of planning, lots of organization, and creative hours put together. So it's really neat to work with all of our Saskatchewan creatives coming together to put together this show for our province.
I love that. Let's talk about the marketplace itself, because I think that's, where the everyday person, like if I came to the show, that's probably where I'm going to see the most bang for my buck, proverbially. What can we expect?
Oh, I love the marketplace. There are so many cool designers showing their wares there, so you can find yourself some clothes, you can find jewelry, other things as well, all locally made, and there is so much talent here in our province.
I love that. Now, you're in the makeup business. Talk to me about some of the glam stuff that's going on, or will you be giving tips, tricks, demos?
Absolutely. So this year different. The makeup is going to be out in the open, so as people come for the show, they can watch what's going on and maybe pop in and have a little makeup done for themselves as well.
Very, very cool. Well, it should be absolutely tremendous. It is all weekend long right here in Saskatoon. The Ramey shall be the home of Saskatchewan Fashion Week. Don't miss it.
Welcome to Your Morning. It is 8:30. Hurricane Melissa is where we begin, still churning its way through the Caribbean. The storm is expected to pass west of Bermuda today after crossing the Bahamas as a Category 1 storm. Melissa could gather strength again before weakening tomorrow. It's likely to cross the Avalon Peninsula in Canada either as a Category 1 or post-tropical cyclone. This is expected to happen late Friday night, early Saturday morning. People caught in the storm's destructive path have started to dig their way out of the damage. The future of Saskatoon's downtown arena hit a bump in the road Wednesday.
It's time that Saskatoon has new facilities to be comparable to other marketplaces.
We're looking to maximize the revenue for the city. That's definitely an objective because we have to pay the mortgage payment for the facility.
The future, hitting a bump in the road, as we said on Wednesday. Administration billed the deal as Oakview taking on the brunt of the risk to cover any operating losses. The deal could bring in as much as $235 million over 30 years. Once the project is fully funded, Williams says it would be about 4 to 5 years before the doors would open to the downtown arena. A new venue at Real District in Regina, promising a restaurant, bars, live music, and the creation of about 150 jobs or more. Jacob Carr on the plan, the cost, and the timeline.
What now stands as YQR Liquor will be transformed in a little over a year's time into Queen City Distillers, a brewery, liquor store, sports bar, restaurant, live music venue. Queen City Distillers will have it all.
Why can't we see the best musicians? Why can't we be that touring spot where they stop and play first and maybe become loyal to, and maybe we get them back once they hit the big time?
Semple says the finished product will cost north of $20 million. It will have 3 stages for music and other live entertainment, with the biggest being a nearly 1,500-seat capacity multi-level venue. Helping with the process will be world-renowned designer Jim Caffarelli, whose work includes multiple House of Blues venues and Under the Bridge, which is located underneath the Chelsea Football Club's stadium.
I was on a Zoom call the other day and someone referenced this as a mega project for Regina, and I interrupted and I said, let me tell you something. This is a mega project, no matter where you put it. You put this in Toronto, you put this in New York City, this is a big project.
Brandt is also partnering with Toronto-based company Design Agency, who says making the future space feel welcoming instead of corporate is key.
By studying what is the roots and the culture and the beauty of Regina that we can celebrate within each space, curating those spaces to make it part of the city.
Semple says the multi-purpose venue will create more than 150 jobs in the city. According to the team involved, the process of searching for workers has already begun.
We want locals. If you left this area because you thought you had to go to a bigger city, it's time to come home. This thing is going to be here for the long term. It's going to have the best technology to rival any venue in the world, and you're going to have a family team here that's going to continually invest in this staff and in this facility.
And according to Semple, the target date to have Queen City Distillers up and running is December of 2026. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A mother's love is inspiring a community in the north end of Saskatoon. As Carla Shinkara tells us, a playground project is underway which will allow all kids to play.
Swings? Kindergarten student McKenna Hebert should be able to join her classmates on the playground during recess, but right now she can only watch from the sidelines.
This playground is not served to equip members of the community or the school who have disabilities, specifically in a wheelchair. Surrounded by sand, the structure is not accessible.
2 years ago, a tragic accident left McKenna with a brain injury and using a wheelchair.
Accessibility was never on our mind up until it suddenly hits you, so that's where this passion has come from.
Now she's on a mission to ensure all kids at the school and surrounding community can enjoy recess on an accessible play structure, working with the St. Anne's School Community Council.
We're trying to raise $273,000 for our phase 1 plan of a wheelchair accessible playground so that our community and our school can be a welcoming and inclusive place.
The school's principal says this accessible playground is an important step for all students.
This is our best way forward because it will allow McKenna to build her social relationships. All students will enjoy the new playground.
Hansen says this will be the only accessible playground north of 33rd Street and will serve many neighborhoods.
I'm so thankful to our Catholic School Community Council, to Brittany as one of the members of that council for undertaking this project.
So views on accessibility have changed a lot over the years. This new park in Brighton is a prime example. There's ramps and a rubberized base making it wheelchair accessible.
So accessibility can reach actually much broader than just a person in a wheelchair as well. And I think that the community and society as a whole is becoming more aware of that, but there's still lots of limitations out there.
There have been many fundraisers and some corporate support. They're halfway to their goal, but still looking for more support so kids like McKenna can have a new place to play soon. Carla Shinkara, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan's Lieutenant Governor has received the first poppy of the campaign. Royal Canadian Legion Saskatchewan President Roberta Taylor presented her Honour Bernadette McIntyre with the first poppy. Then she, of course, passed out poppies to everyone else in attendance. 100% of the money raised from poppy sales goes directly to the Poppy Fund, which supports veterans and their families.
Some of the assistance would include making sure that the basic needs of our veterans are met on a continual basis. As we know, all veterans are covered through Veteran Affairs. However, there are certain things that the Veterans Affairs does not cover. And sometimes, too, the needs are more immediate.
Poppies will be available to you starting Friday at Legion branches across the province. 10 Saskatchewan Rough Riders are CFL West Division All-Stars.
Pizzoli with some time, far side. Intercepted! Oh my goodness, on the far side of the field, it's taken away. All the way back down, it's Campbell. He'll take it to the 20. What a swing! To the end zone, touchdown, Riders!
Devon Campbell, the former Regina Ram, led the league with 6 interceptions. He joins Roland Milligan Jr., Jameer Thurman, C.J. Rivas, and Micah Johnson as defensive all-stars. Logan Ferland, Jacob Brammer, Jamarcus Hardrick, Dante Myers, and Keyshawn Johnson, all offensive all-stars. A family in northeast Edmonton is taking Halloween to the next level.
It's gotten bigger every year. I'm not sure how we're going to top this one because it's pretty much the whole front yard.
The way their eyes light up and, it's like in awe and amazement. And the kids are like laughing and enjoying themselves and having fun. That's Halloween.
The haunted castle stands on the front lawn of Dave and Tammy Iwanek, their home. It took the couple 7 weeks to build and decorate. The castle is more than 6 meters long and 3 meters high, and they're asking trick-or-treaters for food bank donations to come on inside. Well, now the 3 pumpkins on my step are me.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of those, the garbage bags that we used to fill with leaves, that was the extent of my decorating typically.
Yeah, and you've got cat eyes behind you, which means you've got a trick-or-treating forecast.
I sure do. Let's take a look with this fun animation. Your Halloween forecast in Regina in the afternoon, we're seeing a high of only 2 degrees, so it is going to be a very chilly day. You're going to want to figure out how to add that jacket into your ensemble for the evening. Evening in Regina at -1, north winds coming in up to about 30 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, the afternoon high 3 degrees, and the evening dropping down to -1. North winds could be coming in up to about 40 kilometers per hour. So if your costume happens to have a hat attached, you might want to pin that down. Now let's take a look at the current temperatures in Regina. 2 degrees right now, and that is our expected daytime high for the rest of the day. So it is going to be a cool day. The good news, though, is that warmer temperatures are on the way for the weekend. And by warm, I don't mean super warm. I just mean finally back above that seasonal average. Winds are already coming in at 41 kilometers per hour in Regina and 32 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon. Saskatoon, we have already started to see some of that very wet snow this morning. That is not going to continue on into your afternoon, but it is going to continue on into the afternoon if you're waking up with us in Regina. That's going to start a little bit later on in the morning. +1 to wake us up in Saskatoon this hour as well. Today's wind gusts, though, we did just mention those are going to be increased today. So all of those areas lighting up in red, that's where we're going to see the strongest gusts today, up to about 60 kilometers per hour for Regina and Estevan. Areas surrounding could be seeing them up to about 50 kilometers per hour as well. The futurecast showing that system that's making its way through the province this afternoon. It's going to be bringing with it that wet snow and some light rain as well. Yorkton and areas surrounding Yorkton likely going to be seeing most of it today, but we are also going to be seeing a little bit of it in the Regina area and down through Estevan as well. As we look forward to Halloween, we only see a few little spots of white still on the screen north of Yorkton tomorrow. However, as we get into those trick-or-treating hours, we do see those spots disappear, and we're going to be just talking about those cooler temperatures and the winds. 1 degree in Melfort now, 2 degrees in South End. We're not really seeing as many of those negative temperatures anymore, just really swift current this morning, still at -1. Other than that, a lot of areas into those positive temperatures already. However, temperatures this afternoon not really going to be warm. 4 degrees for Swift Current, 3 degrees for Weyburn, and 3 degrees for Yorkton. As I mentioned, though, we are seeing the temperatures going up for the weekend. So Saturday up to 11 in Regina, 10 degrees on Sunday. In Saskatoon, 12 degrees on Saturday and 10 degrees on Sunday. So not warm, but warmer than that seasonal average and warmer than what we're seeing today and tomorrow.
We are reporting to you down at Halloween Alley in Regina this morning. I'm Lala.
And I'm Poe, and we're here to tell you that Halloween is tomorrow. So we're at Halloween Alley to tell you all about the costumes that you can still get last minute. Let's welcome in Murray, the manager, right now. Murray, lots of popular costumes this year, but what is really flying off the shelves?
I think this year you guys have pretty much nailed it. The Teletubbies has been quite popular, and I think part of the reason for that is a lot of people are kind of going back to their youth. So with the adults, seeing the costumes in store brings them back to their youth.
We have some other models over here. We have director Corey and we have producer Nathan. Tell us about the costumes they're wearing and why they've been so popular.
Well, Ginu is from the K-pop Demon Hunters this year. And, of course, Labubu. How can we forget Labubu this year? Another favorite. It is one that, unfortunately, we just got in. So if you haven't got your costume, come on down and get it because they are going to sell fast.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of TV magic here. They're going to go off screen, go change. We're going to talk about some more costumes. I'm going to pass it over to Lala for that.
All right, I've got Murray joining me once again now. Murray, tell me a little bit about your fun creative costume here.
Well, this is Bluey. If you want to win that Dad of the Year award, here you are, Bluey. You know, it's like the kid's favorite. If you're going to dress up with your kid, this is the way to win that award for sure.
I'd have to agree. I think this is adorable. Now, Kayleen and I are, of course, in our couples costumes. What other couples costumes have been very popular this year?
This year, we have got the peanut butter and jam, the pickleball ball and paddle costume. There's, of course, your wine and cheese. And I think one of my staff's favorite is the beer keg, which is actually a functioning keg. We'll just leave it at that.
All right, Murray, thank you so much. I'm going to pass this right on over back to Poe.
And through the magic of television, we have some costume changes to reveal to you. We have Chili joining us here now. Murray, it's not just about the Halloween costumes here at Halloween Alley, right?
No, it's not, actually. This year, we've got puzzles that aren't necessarily Halloween related, but great Christmas gifts. Puzzles, toys, all kinds of things.
You said that magic word I wanted to talk about next, Christmas. Please come on in, gentlemen. We have Director Corey as a Christmas elf and producer Nathan dressed up as Santa Claus. You're getting everyone ready for other seasons too.
We do. We have a few costumes that we bring in at Christmas time, or at Halloween, sorry, for Christmas. So here we are.
All right, to end us off here, Murray, 20 years in the community. What's your message?
Well, 20 years and still smiling. And I think the reason for that is just our customers. And they come in, they've supported us, they've welcomed us into the community every year. And we just appreciate it. Thank you to our community here in Regina.
A beautiful message to finish us off. Happy Halloween, everyone. Of course, remember, Halloween is tomorrow. You're running out of time to find the perfect costume, but you can come on down just like Janelle and I here and find the perfect fit.
All right, so now you've got the costume all handled. Now you need to know which houses to visit. Stacey Hine has some suggestions in Saskatoon.
Better be careful walking around at this place.
A warning to be careful walking around 510 Glacial Shores Bay in Evergreen. Here, Halloween takes over, and everyone's invited. Kristen McDonald grew up with haunted houses. Her father built one every year. Now she's carrying on the tradition with her husband.
He and I met, and he wasn't really into Halloween, and then he slowly kind of got more into it, and we bought one animatronic, and after that, we were just kind of hooked.
What started with a single jumping spider in 2018 has grown into a monster operation.
The McDonald's say it takes countless hours to set this up, with 37 animatronics and hundreds of decorations.
Last year, more than 2,500 people came through, and this year, an even bigger crowd is expected.
We do it basically just because the community loves it. Like, we did it the first year, and people came, and they just, like, they loved it so much.
We love seeing all the reactions of everybody come through, and seeing the smiles and the screams is what makes it worth it for us.
And if you're looking for more local haunts, there are other spooky spots around the city ready to give you goosebumps.
Hold on to me.
In Silverwood Heights, check out 111 Marcotte Crescent. And in Parkridge, 186 Neatby Crescent, where Aaron Savolt has transformed his yard into a 2,200 square foot maze of mayhem.
It's always fun to see the reactions, hear the reactions, plus ticket fees, whatever, are going to Spirit Halloween and their fundraiser for the Children's Hospital. So good causes.
No matter where you go, these Halloween haunts might leave your head spinning, and they're open until Halloween night. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now, safety is a big message from a number of organizations on Halloween, including CAA Saskatchewan. Janelle Pai standing by with them.
Good spooky morning. We are coming back at you here again in Regina. I've got CAA's Angel Blair with us. Now, Angel, we've talked a lot today about Halloween safety, drivers and pedestrians, how they can enjoy the holidays very safely. Now, let's talk a little bit about busy roads, because right in front of us on this residential street, we do have quite a bit of traffic. How can people cross those streets and drive through them safely?
Great question. As you know, CAA does own the School Safety Patrol program, so we're all about safety. Motorists and pedestrians, we want everyone to be safe on Halloween night. There are a couple of things you can remind your kids when crossing streets. Make sure you cross at intersections. Make sure you are looking. Stop, look, listen, and think before you cross the road. It'll be busy. There's lots of traffic. If you are a motorist and you have to drive in those peak trick-or-treating hours of 5 to 8 p.m., then make sure you're driving slower. Make sure you're paying attention to, kids that might be darting out between cars. We want them to cross at intersections, but it'll be a very busy night. The other thing is, when you're driving, slow down. You can even drive 10 kilometers slower than you would normally do so in residential and school zones, because it will be very busy.
That's right. All right. Make sure you're paying very close attention tomorrow night when you're out trick-or-treating. Now, not only are kids out having a fun time, but adults are also going out and enjoying themselves. Let's talk about the importance of a safe ride home.
The safe ride home, you know what, the biggest thing that we can suggest, CA is all about promoting drivers not being distracted. Leave the keys at home. As easy as that. Find a safe ride home. There's lots of options on Halloween night, and actually every night. So we just want people to pay attention and be safe. And when you're a kid out there having fun, that's what we want you to focus on. So keep those safety tips in the back of your head.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Angel, for all of these tips. It's fantastic. We're going to let you go before my hat blows away. Enjoy your Halloween. Be safe, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Music and video game lovers, listen up. The memorable score of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is coming out on vinyl. Nintendo and Laced Records are putting out a double LP and an 8 LP box set, available in limited edition color vinyl or standard black. You can pre-order now. The discs are due out June 19th, 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things that really drew me into it.
Daniel Radcliffe is returning to Broadway. The Tony-winning actor, who's also done some film work, is set to star in the one-man show Every Brilliant Thing. Previews begin February 21st, and a 13-week engagement starts March 12th.
It became a second profession. But
Henry Winkler has had several careers: television star from Happy Days to Barry, film roles including Scream and The Waterboy, producing and directing, and co-authoring more than a dozen children's books. And today is his 80th birthday. Happy birthday, Henry Winkler. In Fonziewood, I'm David Daniel.
A BC boy is preparing for an extra special Halloween tomorrow.
Yeah, the 5-year-old was forced to miss out last year to have heart surgery. CTV's Adam Sawatsky now, no relation, on his long road back to trick-or-treating.
If you ask Ian Itzma about his favorite thing,
Star Wars.
The 5-year-old will tell you all sorts of stuff about Star Wars.
So Luke Skywalker tries to kill Darth Vader.
But if you ask his mom, Natalie, about her most difficult days,
I mean, I was gutted. It was really hard.
she'll tell you all about when Ian endured his first heart surgery when he was just 2 weeks old.
And there still is times where we actually don't really know what his life expectancy is going to look like.
Preparing for Ian's third surgery was the hardest, his dad David says, because the then 4-year-old knew what was going on.
When he walks down the hallway to the surgery room saying, I'm scared, Mommy, I'm scared, Daddy, it breaks your heart.
On top of that, the only day the specialist could do the surgery was on Ian's favorite holiday, Halloween.
You get to dress up as anything you want.
When Ian's neighbors heard about the situation, they rallied together to organize something special a couple nights before the boy's surgery.
We had like almost 100 trick-or-treaters, yet Ian was the only one going door to door getting candy.
Ian! Ian!
Ian was too weak to walk too far, so after dressing up as an astronaut, the boy was rocketed around the neighborhood in a donated golf cart.
Knowing that they weren't getting anything on their end, they were just there just to support our little guy. Melts your heart.
Along with a pile of candy, Ian received books and toys to keep him entertained in the hospital post-surgery.
And he just lit up, and just the smile on his face made everything just so magical.
A year later, Ian is doing better than ever and looking forward to being out on a real Halloween night with his whole family wearing Star Wars costumes.
And what are you going to dress up as?
Jedi.
A Jedi?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
As they say in a galaxy far, far away, the Force is strong with this one. And it turns out, in this community so close, the same can be said about this family and their neighbors. Adam Swansky, CTV News, North Vancouver.
I'm confused as to why you keep saying no relation.
No relation, because Adam Swansky.
Your brother.
Every time it's Adam Swansky,
Your brother lives in Vancouver.
No, Adam Swansky is actually SKY at the end, and I am ZKY. There is a rivalry. A ZKY.
Oh,
There's a rivalry between the two Sawatsky spellings.
The two clans. Okay, well, let's get over to our sidebar then. Somebody's watching that spells her name the other way. It's like, I didn't know I was fighting.
SKY, and they're like, hey.
Guess I gotta fight Kayleen now.
Yeah, what?
An annual puppet festival is taking over in Mexico. Take a look. You didn't know this was a thing. Performers from Mexico, Spain, and yes, Canada are there. It's officially called the Puppets Feast Festival, and it includes parades, workshops, and celebrates all kinds of puppetry power.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a little creepy.
Okay.
I mean,
look at it. It makes it look real.
Impressive, though.
Yeah, it's very impressive. They make them look very realistic in terms of their movements.
Yeah, that bunny's really realistic.
Yeah. It would take a lot of practice, I think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, here's another one for you. What do you do if you want to get rid of an old car and you happen to have access to a nearly 2,000-pound pumpkin?
Oh, boy.
Oh! You do that.
So this is one option taken by a farmer in Utah. As you can see, the car Geo Metro from the 1990s gets totaled by a 14-story gourd drop.
Oh, my gourd. Stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow.